It's not about just saving all your money and becoming rich. It's also giving a bunch of it away.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot to that. And the more we kept giving away, the more God kept blessing us.
God is so weird how he works, man. He takes you like this.
All the way
and you're
through.
like, why are you bringing me here, man? Like, what is this about? And then he's like, no, wait. It's down there, but you need
We're getting
this.
there.
We're getting there, brother. Just relax.
I'm going to do what I can to bring God's kingdom to this earth until I get to go to his kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. It's as simple as that.
And here's the really crazy thing. You and I can't do anything good enough to get in his kingdom.
There is no
He
work-based
already
system.
did it.
Yes.
He paid the tab. John, this is a business podcast. No, it's not.
No.
This is a human beings talking life. We just happen to be in business. And I'm not living my life for a corporate mission. I'm living my life to impact people, to have positive interactions, friendships. This is what it's about.
God is present in every business. It's up to you if you let him lead.
Well, this is what's happened with our businesses, our
Yeah.
major corporations, our schools. These people that we're supposed to believe, that we're supposed to trust. We're hoping you do the right thing with it.
Yeah.
And then you come to find out after the whole thing, like, it's lie after lie after lie. Do we not see what's happening here, folks? Do we not see that there is a matrix that we have been plugged into? This is not the way. 40
Yes.
years old, retirement starts. Got to be skipping home, excited. Your wife's got to be like, what in the world? What's the rest of our life going to look like? Start us there.
So,
Well, we'll get there. So there's a cliffhanger for you.
Yes.
We'll get there.
We are here with a legend. How did you get to this point? Tell us a little bit about, you gotta feed that beast, baby. You're kind of flipping the script on that. Just talk a little bit about the mindset that you have.
Welcome to the JMO Show. That's right. This is the JMO Show, and we are here today with an unbelievable guest. This man retired at 40 years old. Are you kidding me? I won't be 40 for another 10 years. That's a lie. But this man retired at 40 years old. How in the world did he do that? What formula did he use? We need to get in to the mind of Mr. Justin Wilhelms, who is now the founder and owner of JW Innovative Coaching LLC. He's out in Rochelle, Illinois, but I'm certain that he will work with anyone throughout the world. But I'm certain that he also prefers to be here in the state of Illinois because his model is to go out and be part of the organization. He's not working through Zoom. He wants to feel the energy at the organization. He wants to go out and be part of the team. He gets you moving. He gets you going. He sets up systems, controls, procedures. He gets you leading, not working in the business, but leading the business, leading people. And once that machine is working, he sets you free, baby, and he moves on to the next one. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Justin Wilhelms. How are you, sir?
I am good, John. It's good to see you, man.
It's great to see you as well. Okay, so I got to get into this story here a little bit. Like, you've had quite a journey.
It's been fun.
It's been quite fun.
Man.
Heck of a ride.
Yeah.
You retire at 40, but then you go, you know what? I can't do this. Like,
Yeah.
I'm finding this to be the case with a lot of folks that that are successful in business. They work so hard to get to the point where they can retire, and then they just can't do it.
Yeah.
So what was it for you?
So it's interesting, like the ride that we've been on, right? Like God's been a big part of it, and we've been aware of it sometimes and not so aware of it others. And it's always hindsight's 2020. You look back, right? And so you realize, oh, God ran this whole show the whole time, and I wasn't even aware in the moment, right? My wife and I had a pretty financial hardship early in our marriage. My son's first birthday, we couldn't pay for a 1-year-old birthday party that was at our house. Wow. Like broke, right? Short sold our house, moved in with my in-laws, like painful.
When was that?
Back in 2012.
Okay.
Right when I switched careers and joined the company that I ended up selling.
Okay.
And so what happened was we realized we were not fiscally responsible at all, nor were we even aware of our budget, because that's part of where the issues came from. And so I hit the ground running professionally, which is part of why we grew as fast as we did, because I was driven towards it. But we also switched the way we managed finances. So I don't know if you're familiar with Dave Ramsey and financial peace
absolutely.
and all that. So we took that full stop and we went
Really?
all in. Yeah.
Okay, so I've heard a whole bunch of
Yeah.
good and bad.
Yeah.
And you're a backer.
Yes. And so the good and bad is this. It is designed to be a framework. And when you listen to his show, that's where the bad comes from. Like he has a very black and white way he has to deliver it.
I mean, he's
'cause it has to
polarizing.
apply.
He's got to hit you. And
Yeah,
by the way, it also is entertainment.
It is.
So he's got
it.
it.
Is. Yeah. And
Like
I love Dave. Like he's a great
Sure.
guy. Like, and I love his approach because it's very much in your face, and
Yeah.
it needs to be because most people need to wake up and they need to be hit sideways, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the reality of it. But when we did it, we went all in. In 18 months, we paid off 90 grand in debt, got all consumer debt gone, and then plowed into our mortgage. right?
18 months, 90 grand in debt.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
which was nuts. Yeah,
And this is coming right off of
being broke,
like
as
being
all
broke.
get out.
Okay, so like how in the world do you do this?
So it's literally sacrificing everything. Like
Okay.
no, it becomes a very complete sentence very quickly.
When you say sacrificing everything, you mean like you're talking about, and we're both faithful believers, right? Followers of Christ.
Yeah.
You're talking about you just gave it up. You gave it to God.
Gave it all to God, and we don't go out to eat. We don't buy clothes. We like if it isn't an absolute necessity, we don't spend money on it. It's going towards getting us out of the hole that we dug ourselves in, right? And then it was following those principles the rest of our career. So like I did that as my career was growing. We're growing the business. I'm making good money again. You know, once you get up to serious income and you're still living that way and following those principles, you can game change your life.
That's the hardest part,
That's
right?
the hardest part is sticking to it when the flexibility comes back.
So most people establish the really good habit.
Yeah.
It starts to work.
Yeah.
And then they loosen
Yes.
the habit.
Yes.
We see this all the time in the sales game.
Yes.
Like the new salesperson comes in, it takes them 200 phone calls to get the one sale.
Yes.
Then they figure out how to make 150 phone calls to get the one sale. Then they can make 100 phone calls to get two sales. So why not keep making the 200 phone calls and you'd get four sales? Like the logic makes total sense. It's really
Sounds
hard
great.
practically to do it. So
Yeah.
how do you maintain, how do you create the discipline, right? The framework Dave gave you through his teachings. How do you create that discipline? How do you stay with it long enough so it becomes habitual?
So the habit kicks in when you put in physical metrics versus just emotional metrics, right? So like there's a budget form. Physically fill it out. And then when you don't 1 month, it feels weird. So it's like it was missing, right? And so that's when you know you've formed the habit. And you know, like I pray with my wife. And several years ago was when I was told to start doing that by a brother of mine. If we don't do it, it starts to feel weird because it becomes a habit because it's just normal. And so
Yeah.
you change your new normal, right? And so, but don't get me wrong, there's, you know, you get to a point in that financial journey where you get to finally go on awesome vacations again. And like the best feeling was when we started writing huge checks at charity events and you don't feel it.
Oh, that
Like,
give back.
That's where it starts to really kick in. And so it's the balance of, and that's where I love Dave's stuff is it's not about just saving all your money and becoming rich. It's also giving a bunch of it away.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot to that. And the more we kept giving away, the more God kept blessing us. And so like when 23 hit, we were positioned where I didn't need to make money anymore. And then we sold the business, which is why it was so easy to retire. Right. And so because for 12 years, we followed principles that allowed us to position ourselves to do God's work on this earth. And he just kept pouring blessings on us. And so it gave us that opportunity, which is pretty cool.
Like me, you didn't come out of the womb with those beliefs.
Nope.
You weren't brought up with those beliefs.
Nope.
In fact, I think we have some similarities that you had to kind of break a little bit. You kind of had to go through some adversity. You got a similar tap
Yep.
that I got. So walk us through a little bit, like what was childhood like?
Yeah.
What was some of the smiley moments, maybe some of the tougher moments? Like what was your life leading up so we can add a little texture to where you are now, and then we'll go from there.
When I was a kid, life was crazy. My parents got divorced when I was really young, so bouncing between houses. My mom was an alcoholic most of my childhood. My dad stopped drinking when my younger sister was born, so we never saw him or I don't ever remember seeing him that way. But I just was not close with my dad at all. I lived with my mom because since she was always drinking, I could do whatever I wanted. So it made for freedom, which I learned the value of hard work and the rewards from that because I started working when I was 13. So I've been working forever. Like I've carried myself, I bought my own clothes, did my own thing since I was a kid. And so while also being an athlete 12 months a year, while also going to school and getting good grades. And so I realized how you have to create discipline early on by proxy, not by choice. And so I think just by nature that got built into the fabric of my being, which then led to one success and the next success because I just had to do it. And it wasn't something I had to think about. It was forced. And so then it became natural, which is the habitual thing, right? Like it was just the way life was. And I didn't realize that there was another way to do it. And I'm blessed for it. As much as I look at my childhood and upbringing and compare it to like other people in the world, wow. Like, it's different, right? It's different.
So, you know,
like I slept at friends' houses on their couches because I didn't want to go home.
It was safer.
It was safer. And so, but I had 5 moms growing up.
Yeah.
All my friends' moms.
The village, right?
Yeah.
It takes the village.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? There's something about this studio right now because especially this seat.
Yeah.
There's been, whether it's my podcast or other podcasts, I keep hearing this story of very successful people talking about they started working at 13. Yeah. They started a landscaping company when they were 9. They started doing whatever. Yeah. And what's interesting is they're all in their 40s or early 50s, don't have to work, choose to work, like to do what they do, but we talk about reps, repetition. So they learned how to work hard.
Yep.
And it's just like praying with your wife.
Yeah.
Like if you don't do it, it feels weird.
Yeah.
It's almost like it probably feels weird to you not to work hard.
100%. Well, and when we sold the business in early 24 and I made the decision to take a step back and retire for a period, we were building a brand new house.
Yeah.
So all of my time
were really working.
was building a house. So still working,
Yeah.
but I was doing electric and plumbing
Yeah,
and HVAC work, and I was living there. And we have 45 acres, so I'm spending all day, every day
it's a
clearing
farm,
woods. Dude, it was awesome.
Yeah.
And I love hunting. So I'm
went out
like,
and
get this ready for
Yeah.
hunting season.
Oh, yeah.
Well, then hunting season comes. We moved into the house, and I'm going, I need to go back to work. Like, I need something else to do. And so that's where God reminded me how much I've done this type of work for so long that it's a good opportunity for me to step back into the marketplace in a very different lane, doing what I've always done, right?
Yeah.
And bring other people the success that I've got by just transferring over and paying it forward. Like that's what God made it so clear.
What were the 2 sports?
So I've played a ton of sports, but through high school, I did 3: football, wrestling, gymnastics, gymnastics.
Hold on a second. 2 of those sports that you just named, and not knocking football's awesome.
Yeah.
It's my favorite sport.
Yep.
Favorite sport to watch.
Yep.
But 2 of those sports, those folks are built different. Wrestlers and gymnasts, they're just built different. Agony, pain, like over and over. Repeat the thing that sucks the most over and over and over again. How did that form you?
Dude, when I think back, the value system of those 2 sports from a subconscious standpoint, you are on a team, and the teams are tight. But everything you do is self-reliant. So you're the only one in the wrestling match, but your success of that wrestling match affects the team in the competition, right? And so they're so intertwined on how critical it is for you to step up to the plate in the role that you carry as a part of that larger organization that I've seen pour right over into why I look at business differently, right? Same thing as a gymnast. It's on you when you're on that apparatus to succeed, but that success motivates others, contributes to the team's success, allows you to do well in the team meet, but you also get accolades on your own personal success because it's directly tied to you, right? And so such a marriage of ethical values that are in my being that I never knew. 15, I had no idea it would transfer, right? I'm not thinking business at that point. I was just having fun, right? But man, does it have such a huge impact.
Dude, wrestlers are just built different. As we've talked about, my youngest is a wrestler, started wrestling 3 years ago. And just the maturity level, he's up before anyone else in the house now. He gets himself completely ready to school. He's 13 years old. Yeah. He's up, ready, packed his own lunch, off, measuring his weight, taking care of himself. The kid's dialed in. And so wrestling has set that precedent. I just watched the clip. Kirk Cousins, quarterback, he just said, oh, I'm getting my kids into wrestling. That's just... And then I'm scrolling through, I don't the algorithm works.
Yep.
Joe Rogan talking about he wrestled his sophomore year and he thought to himself, he's like, I've been going to school With these guys are beasts. They're animals. Like
Yeah.
you're walking around with straight up killers and you don't even realize it. And they're
Yeah.
smiling at you because they don't need to.
No.
What's been the coolest thing about watching wrestlers, different from other sports?
Yeah.
Pitcher strikes you out in baseball. You walk back to the dugout, kind of be flippant towards the pitcher, talk smack, whatever.
Yeah.
You get pinned. You can't talk smack.
There's nothing you can do.
You just lost to that dude. He just manhandled. You just lost.
If you're going back to the gym, working harder to figure out what you missed to do it better next time.
Because you got to face that, probably
'Cause you
got to
have to do
face
it
that
again.
wrestler again.
Yeah.
And if they know how to beat you once, they probably found something and they can beat you again.
And your success is a result of the level of discipline you put yourself through to be prepared for that next match.
Oh my gosh. It's
Such
crazy.
a huge thing. Yeah. And it's all on you. Like how hard you put into it. Like, so you think about football, right? Like you can be the best wide receiver in the world. If your quarterback sucks, you don't look that good.
Well, we've seen that.
Yeah, we've seen that. So the reality of it is like that, and and I love football. I play college football as a ball, and there's a team component. But some of your success is reliant on the other people being successful too. And in
Certainly.
wrestling and gymnastics, like it's on you to succeed. Full stop.
You gotta
Like
stick
nobody's
the
stepping
landing.
on the match with you and helping you. Like it's you and the other guy, and that's it. Or you and the other girl. That's it. Right?
And by the way, there's no in-game prep, right? Or there's no in-game coaching. Like in a football game, you can make an adjustment.
Yeah.
In a routine on the pommel horse, you practice. Once you're there, it's it. Like you either hit it or don't.
Yeah, it's you and an immovable object. Like that's
Like,
what it is.
better make it work.
Yeah, you got to figure it out. Like either you can do an iron cross on rings or you can't. There is no middle gray area.
Yeah.
Right. But yeah, to your point on football, like at the next break, your coach goes, "All right, so this is what the defense is doing, just in case you missed it." And so you learn a little bit of
You
stuff
watch
you didn't
scrolling
see.
through
And
film.
it's like, you don't get that. Not on those.
There's no
sports.
reason to watch what you did on the pommel horse because you ain't doing it again that day.
Yeah.
So you got to go back to the drawing board.
Yes.
Whereas you 3 and out, you watch the series, you go, oh, okay, so now we can fix that on the next series. It's not happening in those sports.
No, very different.
And wrestling too. Like
It's a grind.
you got 6 minutes
That's it.
to make
Short
it happen.
clock. Yeah.
Like crazy.
Or less if you can.
if
shut
you
it
can
down
make it, if you
earlier.
can shut it down early. Yeah. So that's absolutely crazy. So I'm just curious, like in those 3 sports, those sports as you were growing up, who are some of the mentors, the leaders, some of the men and women that maybe got into your heart, got into your mind? And when you think back, I don't know if you're like me, but I remember the coaches that kicked my ass. I remember the coaches that were in my face, that were kind and didn't like belittle me, but they put me in my place. They didn't let me get away with anything.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I talk about. I don't remember the other coaches.
Yeah.
Those are the ones I talk about. What say you?
Our head coach, All-American, dude was phenomenal. But his level of humility about his past was massive.
Yeah.
And the amount of respect that I garnered from that was huge. But he could see the potential in everybody that was a part of the program and was insistent on you meeting it, even if you couldn't see it yourself. And like the fact that he was so like, I know what you can do and I'm going to get you there and you got to participate. Like, and so just the willingness to push people beyond what they think they're capable of is so huge, because when they get there, the reward from that is so uplifting, and you see people emotionally change, right?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't know I could do that. And then the coach go, I knew you could, right? Like, dude, it's a game changer, right? And then, but that's like, that was him. It's the stoic, humble, massive integrity head coach, right? And then you pivot. We had another guy, total goofball, like just one of the coaches for the lower, like freshmen. But man, did he have so much fun getting you energized and jazzed up to get into it and like go hard, and like how important that is.
That'd
to
be the
push
ultimate
yourself.
job for me.
Dude, he had so much fun.
I want to be the guy on the college football sideline that's running up and down the sideline, like pulling the head coach back into the white on the sideline and like pumping up the players, handing them the belt. Like, if I could have that job, just give me one season of that job.
Yeah.
Just to be the hype man. That's
like
so
the
cool.
cheerleader of the wrestling team.
Just
dude.
Just the hype dude.
Yeah, so much fun. But I was fortunate. We had a lot of really good coaches that both really knew how to connect with youth, which I think is not an easy thing.
No.
Especially at that age. There's a lot of
You're
testosterone
talking
going.
teens and
Man.
early 20s. Whew.
It is hard, right? And so I look back and I just have a lot of respect for their approach and the way they did it, but they didn't let up. Like they pressed and they knew like this isn't meant to be easy. Like but I know you can do it. So like the support and the pressure well blended. Like not an easy thing to craft, but when you see it in action, it's powerful.
That's a needle thread.
It is a needle thread, right?
That's a tough thing.
That is very hard. Like because both are important. I was just talking to a client this morning, actually driving out here, and we're working on some stuff with their team, and there's tension right now because we've made some changes, and he's concerned about that. Which I mean, from a heart standpoint, couldn't ask for a better owner, right? Like somebody who genuinely like, I just want to make sure that this is good. I had to walk him through, like, I've done this a million times. Like, these are the steps of the process. And when we pivot a little bit, the tension's a good thing because you know why they have tension? They're paying attention. If they weren't paying attention, they wouldn't have tension. That's how it goes. So that's actually a really good sign. It's our follow through at this point, your follow through at this point, that allows us to get the value that comes on the backside of the tension. If we pause here and just expect it to go away, it's going to damage everything. Right. And so that's the follow-up. Right. And so I think that sometimes we need somebody to put that pressure so that we can bring to light the conversations that allow us to get better and allow us to break that next thing that we're stuck on.
What do they say? Pressure makes diamonds, right?
It does.
That's how you do it.
Yeah. And so people don't give enough credence to that. And when people feel a little tension, they try to shy away. Opposite approach, right? Like lean in.
Lean into the pressure.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot to that.
Okay, so you had a chance to walk through this facility here, and you had a chance to look around. By the way, I just want to say thank you to one of our sponsors, Reiki Interiors. We're here inside the headquarters of Reiki Interiors. You had a chance to walk through the factory and see what some of the stuff they do.
Yeah.
And so you're a in-office guy. Like, that's your jam.
Yeah.
Work culture is everything, and the environment that you create for your employees has a big impact on their productivity, their vibe, the way they unite, collaborate, all that feel. So Reiki Interiors doesn't just like supply you with like, granted, it's amazing furniture, it's amazing aesthetics and all that, but they literally design things to whatever your desired outcome is for your organization. You're trying to increase productivity. You're trying to boost morale. You're trying to create a more creative environment where like the creative juices go. Their designers will reverse engineer what it is that you're looking for, and then they'll like either manufacture or place you with the right furniture to do that. So pretty cool. So if you're looking to up your office interiors, if you're looking for a way to get your employees to come back into the office, you went to that hybrid feel, or maybe you went virtual and now you're saying, look, productivity isn't as good, I'm losing my culture, we need to get these people to come back into the office. Reiki Interiors will think deep enough to help you to do that. It's www.reiki.com. That's RIEKE.com. You cannot go wrong. I'm in their facility right now. They helped me design the studio. Check them out. So you have built this amazing brand, this amazing company. But before we get into all the details of how you change and turn businesses around and help leaders become better leaders so they can build leaders, right? That's really what it comes down to. You're helping leaders to become multipliers of leaders. That's what we want. So you go through your high school years.
Yep.
We go play college football.
Yep. Play college ball. Yep.
And what position we playing?
So I was a free safety. I was a linebacker in high school, which isn't big enough.
You got like that free safety vibe to you, dude.
It was so
little off of the head, off of the head.
Sometimes
you gotta kind of know every position.
Yeah.
You gotta know everything that's happening.
Yeah, you got to see it all. You got to see how it's coming together and be in the right place at the right
It's
time.
almost like playing catcher in baseball. You kind of have to see the whole field.
Yes, very much so. Yeah.
So best memory of lighting somebody up, intercepting, pick six. Tell me.
The interceptions were the most fun. Like that was just an absolute ball. And it was one of those where like when you're in that right frame of mind and you're like locked in, you can just see where it's going to go before it even gets there like 5 seconds early. And you're just in the right place at the right time. Yeah, like, dude, that is so much fun.
Yeah.
But the brotherhood of a college team is so different from even any sports at a younger age. because it's a different level. So there is a certain level of competition that exists there that didn't exist beforehand. And 99% of us, this is all we got. Once we're a senior, you're not playing ball again. That college football is different because you're not. When are you going to put pads back on?
Yeah.
You're not, right? Like baseball, you can go play a pickup game.
Sure.
You know, bowling, you
I
can
played
do it the
over
rest of your
30
life.
and over
Like,
40 leagues.
yeah, so it's not easy to accept that when you're a senior. That last day comes and it's like, this is it.
Yeah.
Like I'm
Well,
not.
good
I'm not
news
going
is there's
NFL.
other seniors.
Yeah.
And you got that. It's kind of
Yeah.
tribal. Like you
Yes.
got that. You'll have that forever.
Yeah.
Hey, we played our last game ever together.
Yeah, I was talking to a guy who actually is over a networking group called Am Spirit that's kind of all over the country. He's a college ball player, and he wrote a book, and he spoke very well to it. But there's this like kinship that if I hear you played college football, we're immediately brothers. Like, doesn't matter what sport, what school you played.
You're
like,
in a 2%.
we there's something we don't even have to say out loud that we both experienced, and we did it in totally different places of the country. Like,
Yeah.
because it is a different world, right? And so I love that because it's a lot of like, I get you at a whole different level
Yeah.
than the rest of the world does, and you just know it, right?
What do you miss the most off the field part? Because you built the brotherhood, but what were some of the things in the gym, in the locker room, coaches' meetings? Like, what are some of the things that if somebody who's a college football player
Yeah.
is listening to this would go, yeah, I know what he's talking about.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really good question.
I will do that from time to time.
Yeah, honestly, that you got me thinking because like, what do I miss the most? Because a lot of it I still do, right? Like I work out like an animal still today, right?
By the way, I met Justin 3 months ago. He looked great then. He walks in today. He looks like he's preparing for a bodybuilding. So you're 6 foot?
Just shy.
5'11",
5'11".
5'11", 175, a pure ripped American muscle baby. So we're gonna have to talk about because I'm getting a little. I'm a little older than you, and we're starting to get a little flabby, baby. We got to get it going here. So it's time. It's time. I don't feel like I look as good as I used to on camera. Thank God. This is why I'm wearing the bulky sweatshirts. I need to be wearing, 6 months from now, I'm going to be wearing tank tops. Watch.
There we go. Yeah, we'll
go.
I've got a few you should pick from.
All right, perfect.
So we'll get you set up for
Well, if you give them to me right now, they're probably not going to fit.
it. It's called motivation.
Yeah, perfect. It's going to look like a half belly shirt.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you got the sides cut, so
Yeah.
you can it look.
I'll
really
have
good.
side boob.
Yeah, exactly.
Not
Exactly.
good.
Yeah.
Not a good look for me.
Well, until you get it lifted.
Yeah,
Then
there we
you're
go.
in a good spot.
By the way, if you know a good plastic surgeon that could do a male lift, that'd be great. All right, cut that. Don't cut it. That was funny.
I love it. But yeah, no, I mean, I think that there's just the emotional component of supporting each other and realizing that like with guys that were struggling in school, like you're not gonna be able to play on Sunday if we don't get that figured out. So like, how do we get you back on track so that because we can't afford to have you off the field, right?
Yeah.
You don't get that same level because of that commitment to both, right? Like you got to be successful on both sides of the coin. And I think that there's a lot that you get from being a college athlete in general, which like when I look for hires, when I hired most of the people, I wanted them to be plugged into something. I loved athletes, like athletes that were
Retired
successful
military.
Yeah, military, athlete, or if they're in at a fairly active level in something volunteer-wise, like there's a balance to life that they had to create to be able to still get through school and have other things that they have to be committed to that rolls right over, right?
Well, the entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Like the 13-year-old entrepreneur. Like, look, show me a degree. That's cool. But if you told me that you owned your own landscaping company or you painted houses from 15 to 19 years old and you had to go knock on a door and ask somebody to give you a deposit check and then instead of blowing the deposit check, you had to go buy paint and ladders and this and that. Like, I'm going, okay, this person understands the entrepreneurial spirit.
Yeah.
And that entrepreneurial spirit, once it gets into you, it kind of just lives inside you. It's tough to get rid of it.
It really is. And if you show it early on, it's who you're going to be.
Yeah.
Like, and it lives and breathes in different ways depending on how your career path goes. But it is why you continue to be successful because you're always looking for the next way to level up, right? And I think there's a lot of value to that.
So you get through this college journey, play your last game. What's the first gig?
So the beginning of my career was insane. So what's during college?
We love insanity.
Dude,
Let's go
it
on
was-
the JMO Show. We want insanity. Look right in the camera and tell them how insane it was.
So when I started college, I went to college to be a physics teacher. I love sciences. I love math.
Really?
I love engineering, everything. Like, I just think it's so cool. So I was going to do physics teaching. Realized very quickly that teaching in the classroom was not my jam. Like, it was not going to be for me. And so then I pivoted. Part of it was influenced by a girl that broke up with me. So that was also decision-making 101 at 19 is not exactly the best way to do it.
Don't be jealous.
So-
you had your shot.
It is what it is.
You had your shot, lady.
But so I switched into youth ministry.
Okay.
To try to get her back was part of my thought process, and just kept down that path.
Yeah.
Mind you, during high school, I was active in my youth ministry. I was helping run my youth ministry during college because our youth minister got called to another church, and so I kind of kept things going. When I was a senior and I'm about to graduate and then go to seminary, I went to my pastor to ask a few questions. Long story short, had an interaction that steered me away from the church pretty quickly. So I'm a senior going into my last semester, and I'm not going to do church work. Well, I had to pivot. So ended up getting my bachelor's, got out of school, and okay, now what? Well, I've been working in a hospital to make money all through college. I started in high school.
What were you doing in a hospital?
So it was funny. I went in for a procedure, or not a procedure, a scan, a bone scan from an injury that I had from sports. And I thought the tech was actually quite cute. So I was flirting a little bit, asked if they were hiring, and they actually were in her department. So I got a job in that
The
department.
stuff we
which
will do
was so
for
funny.
women. The
Dude.
stuff that we will do.
Well, and I loved the people. So I was in that department, and then I started doing work in other departments, and just I kept moving around inside that. It was at St. Alexis in Hoffman Estates. And so then when I graduated, I was moving into the corporate office at that point, and I'm like, I would love to be a nurse. So I'm like, maybe that's the next path. Well, actually, let me back up. So when I graduated, since I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do, I enlisted in the Marine Corps, was going to go to boot camp. 2 weeks before boot, being a young testosterone-filled ex-football player, I tried lifting more than I should have, injured my shoulder. So I had to push boot back 6 months. 6 months, I still wasn't healed enough. Had to push another 6 months. Once you're a year, they have to drop you, and you have to re-enlist it when you're healed. Well, then I met my wife in the middle of all that.
Yeah.
So life took me a different direction, and the Marine Corps became a back thought. And that's when I decided to go into nursing. So I was like, it's a good career path. It makes good money. I've loved working in the hospital for as long as I have. Great, let's do it. So I get into the nursing program. I start the program. 10 weeks into the program, the head of the nursing program came to me, and she's like, you got to cut down to part-time with your job because we need you more dedicated to the program. Mind you, I'm buried in debt. Like, I'm broke. I need every hour I can get to keep afloat. And I'm like, literally can't. Like, I have to work 40 hours. I'll do whatever I can. And then she's like, we need you to drop the program. So I had to drop out of nursing. And I was like, okay, now what? And so then shortly after that, I get a phone call from a recruiting agency. I'm like, take whatever's out there. So I'm in the office meeting with the recruiter. As I'm sitting with the girl that called me in, the owner of the agency walked by the office and overheard our conversation and came back. She's like, what's he here for? Chatted a bit. I think you should work here. I'm like, recruiting? Like, selling people. All right, let's do this, right? So I joined.
By the way, one of the funnest jobs.
Dude.
I was a recruiter at a company.
Yeah.
I loved it. It was so cool. And I feel like as a sales manager or director of sales, like that was my pocket.
Yeah.
Like, because quite honestly, like if you could just fill your room with really cool people that you love to work with, that are sponges, but are also go-getters.
Yeah.
Like finding those type of people just like
when you know the
lights me up.
The awesomeness of the job you're trying to fill.
Oh,
and
you're
you know
so
what
excited
questions to ask to find the people that tick and line that up and watch it just glorify.
Dude, it's like being a sports agent, man. It's like being an agent, but you're an agent for the brand you work for, right?
Yeah.
You're just like,
It's
and by
awesome.
the way, the person that you're placing in the job loves you. You just got them a job. And if they deliver, leadership loves you because you found that person. It's a cool gig.
Well, and so I was excited. Like, so I'm, all right, all in.
Let's go.
As I get started, the market crashes in 2008. So I'm brand new in recruiting, and everybody stops hiring. And I'm like,
all right, so
really?
I'm not a Marine. I'm not a nurse. I'm not in recruiting. Like, what is happening?
So, and the owner was awesome. Super small boutique firm in Schaumburg.
Okay.
She was fantastic and gave me as much more rope than she should have. Finally, the day comes where she walks in my office. She's in tears, and I'm like, today's the day. I got to go, right? I was surprised she waited that long, but so then she lets me go. I don't know what I'm doing. No idea what's next. So I'm just, whatever I can find out. I'm selling cell phones. Like, I'm just like, give me
You're
something.
at the kiosk?
Right? Yeah, dude.
Woodfield, baby.
Yeah, exactly. And then I see an ad for a plumbing company. And so they're paying well. It's in Lombard. Like, we'll give it a shot.
Yeah.
So I apply. Really cool interview process. Different from anything I've ever seen. Like, they do like a group interview thing where it's like a mix and mingle type approach. Like, you come in, you're just kind of glad heading with other candidates, people at the company, and like they do it for the personality side. They're more worried about that, which is why I ended up really liking the place. And so I meet the VP, him and I hit it off, super great. I get the job right away. I'm in the front office, just CSR, like nothing that was going to be future potential. I was bored. He knew I was losing my mind. So they just kept giving me more work and more work and more work. And then he comes to me and he goes, could you sell for us? And I'm like, dude, what do I got to do? Right. So he just starts giving me stuff to learn. He goes, go learn this. So I come back.
That's a good leader. He saw that in you.
Yeah. And he was awesome. The owner's fantastic. And so he gives me stuff to learn. I come back and I go, I learned it. And he's like, there's no way. And he just starts firing questions. And I've got the answers.
Give me the 2-minute drill, baby.
And he's like, all right. And so that's kind of the cadence for a bit. And then a Saturday, I think it was, comes and he calls me. He goes, dude, we're slammed. Can you run a truck today? I'm like, sure. So I start going out in the field.
So hold on. What does running a truck mean?
So the work that they had me working on was a camera, which is the underground sewer work. So if a tech goes out and there's an issue with an underground line, they'll send somebody like the role I was now being asked to go into, to go in with a camera and inspect it to see like what's the condition of the piping underground and is it something that needs to be repaired, replaced, like all that kind of stuff. So I had been studying videos for weeks at this point to like know what I'm looking for.
Some forensic stuff.
It's cool. Yeah. Like I never even knew that a job existed.
Yeah.
And it was kind of fun to get a chance to go into it. So I go in and I go through and I'm looking at the line. There's a serious issue. And I call the VP and like I'm filling him in and he's helped me price this thing out. I sit down with the homeowner. They agree to do the work. So I sell the first job that I walk into and I'm like, and he goes, we need you in the field as fast as possible. So then we very quickly moved me from office to field as quick as we could. Like right away broke the company sales record and just started to put my name on the plaque on the wall.
Shocking, Justin.
Yeah. And so then I really became a big part of growing that drain division and really got close with the owner that was there. And it was cool. Like it was really fun to help participate at the level that I was delivering. And in the midst of all that, being it was plumbing and drain at the time, adding on HVAC is like a perfect marriage, right?
Yeah.
So I got to help be a part of that.
What do they call that? Mechanical contracting, right? Where the kind of the combination of the two.
Yeah, and this company was very residential heavy. Did a little bit of commercial, but very much residential. But yeah, so now it gave both breaths. So when you deal with a client, if they have a furnace issue or a
you don't have
AC,
to say no.
You can say, we do that too.
Yeah, we do that too.
And so they sent me to training on that. And so that's where I got a lot of the background of like that space. But I was working like a dog. Like I was literally, my actual on paper schedule was Sunday morning, like 6 a.m. till Wednesday morning at 9. Because basically Wednesday morning was our company meeting. So I would finish my shift at the company meeting and then I'm technically off the rest of the week.
Yeah.
And I was on call each night. So that was my schedule. Well, I'd usually sell enough work that I was in all day Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, overseeing the jobs I sold. And so I'm working all the way through. Well, then Saturdays, I was being asked to fill in, or the guys that were working were calling me for help because they were struggling closing deals. And like 7 days a week, my buddy was just like, so are we ever going to hang out again? Because like I'd be with him.
What about your wife?
Dude,
Do you
my
have kids
family
at
was
this
hurting.
point?
No, not yet. And so
So
that's
it's you and
coming.
your wife, though.
Me and my wife. And that was part of what initiated this.
And from
move.
what we've talked about,
yeah,
your wife is like
stellar,
traditionalist.
Yeah.
Like you are as well.
Mm-hmm.
Like you guys like play your roles.
Yeah.
And you try to dominate your roles, which means that you're very supportive of each other. So, but is she looking at you
Most
going, "Hey,
marriages
look,
would
this
have
is-"
ended with the way that I had my career, and she was just like, whatever needs to happen, I love you, I support you.
Was she guarded though? Was she guarding you? Or was she like, hey, honey, like do it now so we don't have to do it later, like go full steam? Or was she more like, hey, look, I'm watching you and you're not healthy.
She knew I was
Like,
starting to burn out. And
Yeah.
more importantly, it was the kids' discussion.
Yeah.
It was, you know what?
How are we going to have kids?
We need to start talking about that. And I'm like, I don't know if I could be a dad while I got this job. And so that was weighing heavy on me. Well, a guy that I've been working out with forever. So in 2001, him and I met at the gym when I was in high school.
Yeah.
And he's like the mayor of the gym. Like everybody knows him. Like he's just that guy.
He's
right?
that guy.
Like super great dude. Everybody loves him. He knows everybody's name. He knows everybody's backstory, their kids' names. Like his first goal is
I love
figuring out
people
how
like
we're
that.
connected.
Yeah.
Right? Like
I love people
love
like that.
guys like that.
Yeah.
And so I just got to know him as like just a friend and a brother at the gym. 20 years my season, right? And then he saw my career go all the way through college and everything. And so the day came where he started peppering me. He's like, dude, I could use you at my company. Well, that kept going on every few months.
Meanwhile, you've got a really good relationship with this
Yeah.
the owner at this other
Love
company.
the owners.
Like-
I'm making
like
great money.
The
Like,
leader brought you in. He recognized your talent. He kind
Yeah.
of put you on the path.
Yeah.
So you're battling this.
I'm struggling.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I love these guys, but this is I can't do this.
You're going to hurt them
for the next 20, 30
to
years.
save yourself.
Yeah. And so him and I connected, and I was like, all right, what do you do? And he's like, I do water treatment. I go, what the heck's that? Like, and so he couldn't even like very eloquently get me to understand what his business was.
Yeah.
And so I stopped coming in because those were Wednesday, Thursday, Friday were my days off anyway. So I told my Mike, my VP, I'm like, I got to stop coming in on my days off. Can somebody oversee my jobs? And he's like, absolutely. Like, no problem. We got you. So I started taking that time to go out in the field with Steve,
To learn the gig.
the new business. Just because I'm not a job hopper. I don't bounce. Like, give me a lane and I will murder it. Like, just all in, right? So after a couple months, I'm like, this is the coolest gig I've ever seen. Like,
why is water treatment cool?
Oh,
Make it cool for me.
Oh, so
All right, all you water treatment folks out
all
there,
you people out there,
in the
let's
comments.
dive in on this.
In the comments, I want to know if Justin made it cool. Is he right? All right, so make water treatment cool for all of us.
What I didn't know is how prevalent it is in the marketplace. Water is used to transfer heat in more ways than you'll ever realize. When water is used to do that, it's really aggressive on the equipment if the chemistry is not stable. And so $1 million assets can be destroyed in a year if you don't balance things correctly and allow the work to get done. Is really the best way I can describe it.
Okay, so when you
without
say
getting
balance,
technical.
are you talking about the minerals, the
Yep,
metals,
the minerals, the
and all this
alkalinity, all the things that. So water is going to either form scale, put deposits on things, or it's going to strip the metal of everything.
So
and
it's
corrode
either
the
going
heck
to
out of it.
erode or it's going to be like barnacles on a whale.
Exactly. And it works for heating applications. It works for cooling, which is really just removing heat. And so it's physics. It's biology.
Okay, so
it's
we're going
engineering.
full circle
We're
now.
going full
We're
back,
good, like,
baby.
Hold
Like,
on, I'm in physics again.
Yep. And so it's all of those components, and you get to put together the cocktail and make sure that the water stays that way. Like,
God is so weird how he works,
yeah.
man. He takes you like this,
all the way
and you're
through.
like, "Why are you bringing me here, man? Like, what is this
Yeah.
about?" And then he's like, "No, wait, it's down there, but you need.
We're getting
this.
there.
We're getting there, brother. Just relax."
Yeah, like I said earlier, like the path is awesome, and God had a hand the whole way through, and I didn't realize it till I look back.
Yeah,
like,
isn't that crazy? And
so
then,
wild.
And then you look up and you're like, "That's why you did that."
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Yeah.
And so I was like, this is perfect, and I'm like, all right. And he goes, how much do I need to pay you? This is where the money
Love
kicks
that
in.
question.
We were not budgeting. We did not have a handle on our finances. I didn't know what it really took to pay our bills. So I threw a number out there, which was a
You're
little,
talking about at your house, at home. Okay.
And so I threw a number out there that was a little bit of a stretch for him, but I thought I could make work. He goes, all right, I'll make that work. So I took it, spent about 2 months training and replacing myself, switching over
That
to
was
him.
good of you.
Nice, smooth transition. I mean, I had a lot of respect for those guys. I even stopped in for the first couple of years just to
Amiable
say, hey.
still?
Yeah, oh yeah. If I ever call them, like I was actually texting with the VP the other day, a few months back. Yeah, but so great. I mean, they were great guys. But so I start, and within the first couple months, my wife and I realized we can't pay our bills.
Oh.
So we short sold our house.
Inflation or wrong number?
Wrong number. So we had to short sell our house. We had to sell a car to pay to sell our home. Painful.
Let that sink in for a second. Whoa.
Painful.
Yeah.
So we moved in with my in-laws, and I just went full stop. selling.
Gotta
And so that within less than a year, I sold enough business that we grew dramatically. I had to hire, like we had to grow. So, and me and the partner are full lockstep. Like Steve and I were super tight, and it didn't take long for him to not want me to ever leave. And so several years in, we sat down, he gave me equity in the business, made me partner. We put together a 10-year plan for me to buy him out in 26. Like, he doesn't want me to go anywhere, and I have no plans to do that either. So I'm like, I'll totally buy this from you, right? And so that's when it really started. Like, and that's where it was just all in.
Who's a dangerous, dangerous person is a salesperson in debt.
Yeah.
Oh, baby. If they got the right values and the right heart and determination, and they got people around them that love them, you put a really strong salesperson in debt and you just let them run, they won't be in debt long.
It didn't take us long. And that's where the whole financial journey. So then my son turned 1, and I was getting things going at Wet Solutions. And then we hit FPU, and we were like, all right, we're doing this. And so then we never looked back. And so we paid off all our debt, and we really just started hammering away. And God just kept blessing us along the way. And because we were intentional about making sure we were charitable while we were also doing what we were doing.
Give.
God just kept saying, I'm giving you more. I'm giving you more. And it just kept coming. And so my wife was able to stay home very quickly after that, just watch our kids.
Oh, so you got to raise your kids.
Oh, it's amazing.
Isn't that
right?
amazing?
Yeah, it was pretty
So
cool.
the country didn't raise your kids for you?
No, thankfully. Well, and now they're full homeschool, like full homeschool at this point.
Oh, man, if I could go back, the first at least 8 years, 9 years of each of my kids' life, my wife was home completely with them. We hit a little bump in the road, which a lot of folks run into that.
Yep.
My wife, being the amazing angel that she is, stepped in, helped out. But we are so grateful that we had a chance to do that, because we see how difficult it is now in our situation. But for young parents to be both be working and have your kids in daycare, and like you drop them off at school or you drop them off at daycare, then you pick them up at night, and it's like, what did they teach you today? Does it even come close to aligning with the values that we have? So you find, I would imagine, you find yourself unraveling some of the teachings that are secular, and maybe don't coincide with your beliefs. And then your child is like, well, which one is it? Because Miss So-and-so or Mr. So-and-so said it's this, but mom and dad said it this. And it's also causing really, really young kids to have to form an opinion on which one they believe. At 9 years old, they should not be forming an opinion on which one they believe. They should be believing what it is that their parents are instilling in them in values, and hopefully those parents' values are coming from a place of spirit.
Yes. Well, and we shouldn't be asking second graders on the first day of school what gender they are. What are we doing?
What are we doing?
Like, it's a disaster. Well, and so when the first couple of years, obviously, we had him in a daycare. My wife was still teaching, but it didn't take long for her to stay home. And then when my son hit preschool, we took him to a Christian preschool, and they needed help. So my wife volunteered there. So she was able to like give back, help, make a little bit of money. And my son still, this was great. And then we put him to public school as a first grader, because we had never thought about homeschool. And then good old COVID hits. And I'm going, we don't do tablets or Zoom, or like, I'm not putting my first grader on Zoom. And then when they were like, we'll bring them back with masks on, I'm like, we don't mask our children. So that's when homeschool kicked in. And honestly, it was for a year. Like, my plan was like, honey, we're not doing this forever. Like, I'm with you. We're not doing tablets or masks. So when this lifts, we're putting them back in school. Well, then my wife fell in love with it. It was the best thing ever. And then I had friends telling us like, well, they're asking our kids what gender they are as a second grader. And I'm like, oh, we're definitely not going back. Like, everything pivoted. And I'm going, yeah. And now we live on 52 acres because of it, because I would have never thought to move to the country, because we lived where we lived for the schools. And so now it's not even a
It doesn't
discussion.
matter. Now you can just be wherever you want to be.
It's
My
awesome.
oldest sister, her kids are just fantastic, but they have homeschooled their kids, and they have a lot of them. 3, 4, 5 kids, right? Each of them. And gosh, the way that they just get along and interact, and they're so spirited, and they're just centered.
Yes.
There's no arguments. They play well together. The older kids look out for the younger kids. There's no bickering.
They learn how to be independent, but they also learn how to care for each other. And like the biggest thing I hear from people that don't truly know what homeschool world looks like. Well, how do they socialize? I go, my kids socialize more than your kids because they're doing life with other families that are homeschool, and your child's sitting in a desk all day.
And by the way, falling in line again, stand in line, walk in this line, don't do this, don't do that.
What's socialization?
Be quiet.
Come on.
Be quiet.
Yeah.
Get this, like, don't learn or think, memorize.
Yeah.
Memorize this so you can pass that test. Don't critically think.
Yeah.
Don't figure out how that applies to the bigger picture or the
Just
root of
check
anything.
the box,
Just
please.
get that damn box checked.
Yeah.
You need that grade. And by the way, if you don't have the grade, we'll still shuffle you to the next thing. Just stay in the line.
Yeah.
Do we not see what's happening here, folks? Because do we not see that there is a matrix that we have been plugged into? This is not the way.
No,
this is not the way.
It's not. So as much as COVID was stupid, I will say I'm so thankful because we would have never made the decisions we made had it not been forced upon us.
I'm telling you right now, open my eyes.
Open my eyes big time.
You either got numbed and fell deeper into a sleep, or it woke you the hell up. Now, I'm privileged and blessed to be surrounded by a lot of people that think the way that I think. Maybe there's a reason for that. That it woke up and went, wait a minute.
Yeah.
These people that we're supposed to believe, that we're supposed to trust, that we're supposed to, like, okay, cool, we'll pay you 40% of our income we're going to give to you, and we're hoping you do the right thing with it. And then you come to find out after the whole thing, like, it's lie after lie after lie, or maybe they weren't viciously lying to us, but they were not informed.
Yeah.
And they were guessing like anyone else.
Yeah.
I don't think it's that.
Yeah.
I think it was an agenda. I think it was a test. I think it was a social experiment to see how much will we put up with.
Oh yeah, how far can we push the envelope on this? And when it finally breaks, we'll peel back. Yeah. And it's sick and it's sad and it's the world that we live in, which is why you have to figure out how to navigate your value system along with all the chaos and realize that, God runs the whole thing anyway. And if we pay attention to the purpose he put us here for, it's actually going to work out okay. But stop worrying about what everything else is going on in the whole social, political world. Because at the end of the day, I think people get wrapped up in things you aren't going to do anything about anyway. And it doesn't actually affect you as much as you pretend it does.
Yeah.
Right? And so, you got to let go of that and realize what's really important. I'm going to do what I can to bring God's kingdom to this earth until I get to go to his kingdom. That's it. It's as simple as that, right? And everything else, that's your filter. I send it through that, and man, does it get easier to make decisions.
And here's the really crazy thing. You and I can't do anything good enough to get in his kingdom.
There is no
He
work-based
already
system.
did it.
Yeah.
He paid the tab.
Yeah, we just talked about that over the
He
weekend.
already paid the tab, man. Literally.
That's how this works.
I tried to use this analogy with one of my kids last night. So on the way to the restaurant, your buddy got hit by a car, dragged down the street, run over 3 times, and still found a way to pay the tab for you.
Yeah.
So that you could have a great meal.
Yeah.
And all he's asking is that you tell other people about how cool he was.
Yeah. And people, I think,
If
misinterpret.
that was the simplest analogy that I could possibly use, it's obviously far more complex, but I think it's a
good way to look at it. Well, and I think a lot of people, they think about the good works and stuff like that. You're supposed to do those as a result of the grace that you've been given and the fact that Jesus died for you. You want to live a life like that as a byproduct of what you've received, right? Not you're doing that to earn it. Nothing you can do.
You can't earn it.
You want to live that way as a result of it. And so it's a small pivot, but it's a huge change, right? And so Scripture talks about it all the time.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not saying go to church.
Yeah.
You are the church.
You are the church. I was just talking about that this morning. Like,
You are the
church
church.
is not a building. It's not a place. It's the people.
The new covenant.
That's how this
It's
works.
inside you.
Yes.
So like, just activate that bad boy.
Yeah.
Activate it. Turn the light. The light's
let
in
it
there.
rip.
Turn it on.
Yes.
Turn it on.
Yes.
Oh, by the way, John, this is a business podcast. What? Like, no, it's not.
No.
This is of human beings talking life. We just happen to be in business.
Yeah.
We happen to be doing things, but I'm living my life, and I'm not living my life for a corporate mission, right?
Yeah.
I'm living my life to impact people,
Yeah.
to have positive interactions, friendships
Exactly.
that are establishing. Like,
Yes.
this is what it's about. And by the way, if we can shed some light on our brands and help our clients along the way, that's great. But really the mission is like to get a good word out there, to get some good energy out there.
Well, and God is present in every business. It's up to you if you let him lead.
Well, this is what's happened with our businesses, our major corporations, our schools.
Yeah. It's where's the actual value system coming from?
Yeah.
And like it's been fun as my career's evolved and as my faith has evolved in the reality of God belongs in business. And I think a lot of people don't believe that truly. Like I think a lot of people are like, well, I have my faith over here, but my business is in the marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
You know, God's everywhere, so he's in the marketplace. And honestly, if you
By
let
the way,
the Holy
he created the marketplace.
Yeah, well, and if you let the Holy Spirit lead, your business will thrive 10 times.
Mm-hmm.
Like, trust me, I've lived it. Like, let God lead, and things turn out way better than you
Pretty
could
amazing.
do. Like, don't
All
carry
right,
the
so
weight.
take a moment, look up, say thank you, look in your heart, say thank you, close your eyes, say thank you. But let's stay on this origin story because it's a good story, brother.
So yeah,
All right.
so in the early part, we start taking off, right? And so I'm growing. My
Water
partner and I are
treatment,
super
partner,
aligned.
you're out selling like crazy.
And then we start building the team, right? And so to your previous point, like my first hire was exactly that. Entrepreneur, started his own business, cutting down trees and processing wood. His dad had a great wood shop, but he's also an awesome guy in school, like very astute, very smart. Also did sales as part of his college career.
That's a killer
like,
combo, man.
Dude, like, he was my first hire.
Authority.
Could you ask for God to deliver you a best first hire? Like that was him. Like his name's Eric Damon, and he's phenomenal.
What's
right?
up, Eric
Yeah.
Damon? Let's
Yeah.
go, baby.
So, he is awesome. He was my first one. And then it just took off from there. And God just kept delivering people,
Keep
right?
surrounding
And
yourself with great people.
yeah, so he ended up being the first person I moved into a management seat below me over the sales team. And then we had another guy that we hired who you couldn't ask for a better heart. Like his integrity was through the roof and his sales skills needed some work, except he wanted to put in the time, right? And so we put together a year-long plan. I said, here's the metrics. Here's the plan. You've got to execute. I'll support you. Dude, that kid delivered, man. And that was my second manager. So now I got both them running the sales team. Found a COO at the right time, brought one in to kind of shed some of that. Built out an operations team and an ops manager, girls in the office. Like we had an awesome team, right? And it was all done at the right time, in the right way. Growth is great. Customers love us. We just had a really good, well-oiled machine. And as we're building things, the focus is to really make you look good on paper, right? Like you need to get to that point. My partner and I are kind of going back and forth. I still wanted to buy him out, but there's the financing issue of like, is it going to be owner finance? Do we get the books positioned so I can buy him out? Do I even want to go into debt knowing that I have the debt adversity over the years? And so as that conversation's in flight, he gets approached by a number of opportunities. So we start having conversations about maybe just selling to somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the one that came
for
to the
context.
Yeah.
This is, you start with this company.
Mm-hmm.
How many it's just you and this owner?
No, me, the owner, a girl in the office,
Okay.
couple of field reps.
So we're talking 7 employees.
No, not even. So the 2 field reps, him and the girl in the office. 4 of
And
them
then
plus
you.
me. And the 2 in the field were not salespeople.
And what year is this?
2012.
2012. So you make your first hire.
Yep.
So now we're at 5. Then you bring another one in 6.
Yep. We move
So
offices because we're getting bigger. So
things are starting to grow. When are you
clicking.
starting to talk about, hey, we gotta either consider growth through acquisition or valuation potentially? Like we've got something here that's scaling. Your CEO mind is starting to kick in at that point, right?
Yeah. Well, and he is a cheerleader, my old partner. And so
He's a tech expert.
well, he's a chemist. Like,
Okay. So he
one of
knows-
the smartest I've ever met,
Yeah.
right? And he also was the first. So in the water treatment world, there's a certification called Certified Water Technologist. It's specific to that industry. It's not required, but it's a great way
Looks
to
good.
show the market that you're an expert in this field. He was the first in Illinois. So dude's been around the block. He's been doing this a long time. He's really good, and everybody respects the heck out of the guy. He's very involved in the organization as a whole, meaning the AWT, which is Association of Water
Like
Technologies.
the whole
he's
industry.
in it, right? Well, he also is a huge cheerleader. So when he's getting accolades about our growth and the culture we've got, he's like, it ain't me, it's this kid I hired, right? And so he's giving me so I'm getting phone calls from other business owners that are like, how are you doing it? What are you doing? And so I'm now attending the business owners meetings with him, and I'm doing all of those things. And I'm getting guys asking me for help. And I'm like, you've been doing this 30 years. Like, I just started in this stuff. But I get it, and I was able to help them think differently and tell them where the success came from, like what perspectives we brought to the table and the approaches that we followed. So like I'm helping owners in a whole slew of ways over the course of my career because he's telling everybody I'm the reason we're doing what we're doing. So everybody knows my success through his voice.
That's a confident dude.
Dude, it was cool, man.
That's really
Well,
confident.
he's like, just don't leave me. And that's why he gave me equity. It was
Yeah.
like, well, at least I'll golden handcuff him and he's not going anywhere. Smart move.
Smart
right?
move. At the same time, it takes a really confident person to be like, hey, that's not me. That's him.
Yeah.
That's really a beautiful thing for him to do.
Huge amount of humility, integrity. He was like family to me the whole time that I worked there.
Not to get too deep, but how's your relationship with your father along this whole way? Because you said you didn't have a great relationship with your father early on.
My dad and I were very not close most of growing up. He married a woman that I didn't connect with, and so that's when I moved to my mom. And I just basically said, I'm good. And so I didn't talk to him most of high school. He would show up to wrestling meets and stuff occasionally, but I kept my distance from him. And we just didn't talk. And then when I was getting ready for college, he knew I was looking at playing football. So he tried to re-engage. We never really had a relationship. Honestly, even today, we don't really have much of one. But he was around. And so my wife is from a very different upbringing. Super tight family. Like family is everything. You die for your family is where she comes from. And I'm very much, I don't have a family is where I come from. Right. And so she was very intentional. Her mother was very intentional on, you have to have a relationship with your parents.
Okay.
So I tried. And then they saw why I was so distant. And then they backed off on forcing me to do that because it's just not there. To your point, your world becomes the alignment of ethics and values and perspectives
It really
on
does.
things.
Like you
I don't
can't
share
control what brought you into the world, but you can control what you do and who you do it with when you get here.
Yeah. And so I just don't look at life in the same way, in a lot of ways, in the way that they do life. And so even throughout that, we would see each other at maybe a holiday event here or there. And I just didn't have a connection with my parents for most of my life in general.
So did this owner partner fill a little void?
Probably a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you okay with that?
100%.
Like you okay with saying that?
100%. And it'll be interesting as I kind of wrap up the back end of things, because we don't have a relationship at all now.
Wow.
Which is emotionally frustrating.
I know the story. They don't, but I know the story because it did get a little
tension.
Well, we'll get there. So there's a cliffhanger for you.
Yes.
We'll get there.
But my dad and I have in the last few years started to reconvene. And if you're distant from your parents, you need to step up to the plate because they will actually step in if you do it right.
Or you'll be like me and your parents will both have passed and you have a little bit of regret and you have to do a lot of talking.
Don't wait till then.
Don't wait till then because that will hurt you. But I love you, Mom and Dad. Should have said it more.
But so my dad and I finally just went all in, black and white, probably not the most professional way to approach it, but I was very direct with him on the reality of where I stand. And if that's important to him, what he has to do. And he's been trying.
Good.
Where it was very much like, you want us to have a relationship, but you want me to initiate it. And I'm like, I'm not going to. Like, I'm fine not having one if that's where we're at.
Yeah.
But if you really want one, you call me and I'll answer every time.
It's a team sport, baby.
And he does now.
Good.
And so, like, the last few years have been good because he has made the intentional effort of reaching out, shooting me a text. And for most of my growing up, if I ever heard from him, it was because he needed help on something.
Yeah.
And now it's hey, how's life?
Oh,
how's the business going?
There you go. That's beautiful.
So he is trying.
Good job, Pops.
So I'll give him
Keep
that.
it up.
So we're on it. We're in a different world.
And he's got grandkids.
Yeah, and he's got grandkids. Yeah, and so
And you're
he
in a
came
point
out
in your
not
life
that long
where
ago.
you're in a point in your life where you got all your wits about you and you've got so much life left to live, and you guys can enjoy that.
Exactly. So I'm glad that pivot has happened.
Yeah.
But yeah, I will say, because I didn't really ever have a relationship with my dad, my partner was probably very much of a void filler there.
Yeah.
As were a lot in younger, my youth minister was that in high school. He was the guy that I turned to. Yeah. So mature men that show me that I bring value to their life have always been somebody I respect and want to appreciate. Yeah. So I've always seen value in that. Yeah.
Okay. So this business is humming now. You got systems, controls, procedures in.
Yes.
The thing is moving. The value of the company's going up. The revenue's up. The profit's up. It's also running like a machine. You got top salespeople that are doing what they need to do. Everyone's falling into their role.
Yes.
The culture is climbing. You're going to these events, and people are saying, "Hey, man, what's going on? This young gun's got some stuff happening. What's going on with this young gun?" And you're starting to then at that point maybe feel it a little bit, and you're going, "Wait a minute now. My formula actually is pretty good. Like, I've done it once." You know, so like, is this duplicatable? Can I?
Well, and where it was at the time, it was, do I go back in debt because I'm not paying him out of pocket because I don't have that kind of money, right? I'm in a position where I can stop working.
To buy the company.
To buy them out, to execute on what we had written up years prior. Because we're coming close. Like, we're a few years away from that.
Yeah.
So I have to seriously start thinking about that. And he's testing the market of, if we didn't go that route, who's all out there? Well, he shows up to leadership, and because there's only legally a certain amount of information I can disclose. Long story short, he got approached with an offer that you don't refuse, and there wasn't really an option. And so it was kind of one of those where it became obvious through a variety of conversations I couldn't do anything to change it. And I was very concerned about going that route. But I knew if it went that way and went the direction I thought it might, it wouldn't matter for me because I was financially fine. So I could step back, I could retire. I didn't need to make money anymore because of how we positioned ourselves. So I was good. I was more concerned about the people that were a part of the organization that I'd be leaving behind if it did go the way it went. And the sad part was it went
how you said it was going to go.
And so that I stayed on long enough to let God make it clear that I didn't need to be there anymore.
Yeah.
And so that's when I stepped down. And so it was tough. And part of it was my exit was somewhat unexpected to my partner. And so we became very estranged very quickly. And a lot of negativity came from that. I will say I did not handle it well. I made some poor decisions. His mom passed away in the midst of that, and I didn't console him. I didn't reach out. I didn't go to the funeral, and I regret every bit of that.
Turns out you are human.
I feel terrible about it.
Yeah.
I don't know if he'll ever know how bad I really feel at the way that I chose to handle that, because he was such a blessing to me for over 20 years. I mean, we were in each other's lives for 23 years.
Yeah.
Like, he was like family to me. And now we don't even talk. Like, if I call him, he won't answer the phone. And so it's frustrating. It's upsetting. But it's also a byproduct of decisions I made too.
Sure.
And so I have to own that, right? And so that's the reality of it. And instead of being down about it, I'm so thankful for the years I had because they were awesome.
What else can you do?
Like, dude, it was awesome. And so it's a different way that life goes. And so I still keep in touch with a lot of the old team. I still love every bit of them, some more than others that I get a chance to talk to all the time. But I would sit down with any one of them any day of the week because we still have a good relationship because they all know why I made the decision I made and they all supported me in it to the point where my managers got the entire team together to take me out at the end of the day that I left.
That's awesome.
To give me gifts and accolades and like wrap me up before I took off. And who does that?
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, I don't need
Really
anything.
good cultures.
And they were insistent on
Yeah.
it. And it's because everything I did was for their value and for their benefit and for the business as a whole. It wasn't about me. Like, and that's what makes it fun.
It's a beautiful thing. So there is a huge chunk of your life right there where you teamed up with somebody that had a big impact on you.
Yes.
And while you may be a little bit fractured right now in what's happening, hopefully something will come around and spark. But the lessons you learned, the framework that you designed, the ability to learn the sales part, learn how to build a sales team, to recruit, to build value in an organization, to market the company effectively, to document systems, controls, and procedures, to create a communication style within an organization, to figure out how to create lead generation. Like all of these things you had your hands in as you're scaling and growing this company.
And the last piece was putting the books together for a successful,
acquisition.
valuable acquisition. Like it's the soup to nuts. And so like I can't even put into words how thankful I am
Not
for
a
the
chance.
path God gave me.
Oh.
Because the lanes that I can help supply input to now.
You touched it all.
I had them all.
And there's no way you go get that at a university to get that type of a feel.
No.
Like you could learn a lot of the terminology and the ins and outs, but to learn how to negotiate, to learn how to move a human, to inspire a person. You had earlier in the conversation talked about getting people to do things they didn't even think they could do. This is the most brilliant thing for my mind and my heart to think about leadership. Yeah. It's not getting someone to do things you didn't think they could do. It's getting them to do things they didn't think they could do. That's the next step up. If one is gold, that's platinum. Yeah. Like that's the ultimate. Because they look at you and go, whoa, you were right. You believed in me and taught me things that I didn't even think were possible. And now I'm doing it. They'll never forget you.
Well, it's funny you say that because you just taught me where I got that from without me ever realizing or connecting that dot. So everybody I hired, for the most part, chemical engineers, mechanical engineers, like science majors. They're not salespeople. And by the way, they became good salespeople by product. And I wonder if that doesn't have something to do with the fact that that's how my coaches coached me as an athlete, was to get me to do things I didn't think I was capable of. It was a lot of how they ended up being successful. They thought sales was a dirty word, but they're thinking used car salesman, mattress salesman.
100%.
Not what sales really is.
People get that wrong all the time. The fact is, like, companies make the mistake a lot of times, especially when they're a technically like being technical in the business is extremely important. They hire a lot of technical experts. The problem is we buy emotionally. So the technical expert comes from an authority standpoint. Yeah. But sometimes when you come from an authority standpoint, you can rub the potential buyer the wrong way because you're coming from a look how knowledgeable I am about this. I know it all. Just trust me. Right. Yeah. Perfectly stated. And the reality is it's like you have the other side that is the salesperson that doesn't have the authority. Those are the ones that become the pressure people because they're just going to push your emotion, fear, greed, fear, greed, fear, greed. Yes. And they can't fill in the gaps of here's where you are. If you do X, Y, Z, 1, 2, 3, then systematically you will solve your problem. Yeah. The ultimate is what you built, where you can take a technical expert and teach them the skills, the personal skills to communicate effectively, communicate from the heart, find the solution that they need, reverse engineer it to the practicality of what you could do. That's magic.
Well, and what made it so cool, and I think that's where I really enjoy helping grow company sales leaders and help teach people how to do sales the right way, is if you're actually genuinely like a technical, goof where you really like solving the problem and like you genuinely, but you can teach them the soft skill of explaining that in layman's terms and attaching a dollar sign to it. They get to do what they love doing, which is fixing things, and they get paid for it. Yeah. And then when they connect, it's service with a payment.
And then the reaction of the customer fills their heart.
Yes, and they
And
love
so
it. It's a soft skill that they didn't know how to do, and they never connected that. Oh, you can do those together, and actually have it be a positive experience.
Yeah, salespeople.
Oh, guess what? Yes, you can.
Salespeople learn the soft skills. I'm telling you, that's where the magic is.
That's
Because
all that it
you can be
is.
technically proficient all you want, but it's about moving people. It's about moving a person from point A to point B. You need to be the roadmap of here's where you are. That's where you told me you want to be.
Yeah.
Let me show you how to fill that gap up.
Yeah.
And when you can do that and along the way hold their hand, make them feel good,
Yeah.
you really have some magic
There's a lot
going
to
on
that.
there.
There's a
So
lot.
you take this business to valuation.
Yep.
And you both win.
We both won. I mean, from a financial standpoint, I didn't need the payout to be in a financial position where I didn't need income.
It helped.
And then that was icing on the cake that made it very definitive,
Mm-hmm.
right? And mind you, we also had a lot of other levers that pulled well in our favor. Our investments did about 3 times what the market should because of the guy that we were using. So we were well ahead of the normal curve. The house that we bought doubled in value while we had it, and it was paid for when we sold it. So that paid for the land we bought, the house we built, like free and clear. So to pay for a house being built in 24 with cash is a rarity. And so we did that, right? And so the selling of the business was icing on the cake. That's not a bad spot to be.
No.
And so I'm blessed that we were able to pull back and actually do proper discernment, right? And actually think about versus having to jump and find something or live in chaos because you have to have the income. Like I didn't have to do that. And so I'm thankful for that. And then now I get to do it again 10 times over because I get to do it for others.
It's a beautiful thing. Okay, so we have another chapter to this story.
Yes.
Before we get into the life of retirement and then the beautiful work that JW Innovative Coaching is doing, I want to ask you this question, and then I'm going to talk about one of our sponsors, if you don't mind.
Sure.
Are you a reader?
I am.
Do you think that reading is one of the most important things that a child could do?
110%.
Okay, then I have to tell you about Buku Branded. So Buku Branded is one of our sponsors. We're so grateful. Brian Floriani, Christy Floriani. Brian is the founder of Bernie's Book Bank.
Oh, cool.
Okay, so Bernie's Book Bank has raised $40-50 million or tracking towards now multiple locations, multiple states. But he started off as a teacher. As a teacher, he discovered in an underserved community, these kids were not reading. He does some digging. He comes to find out that a lot of it is because of the home they're in, they're not readers.
Yeah.
A lot of illiteracy. So he starts up the book bank out of his garage, not a pot to piss in, low on money, figures out a way, also a follower of Christ.
Amen.
And he starts figuring out this plan that he's going to give 8 books a year to kids in underserved communities.
Oh, cool.
Now they average about 300,000 kids served per year, 8 books per year that they're giving to these kids.
That is awesome.
So Brian, that's not enough for Brian.
Yeah.
So Brian starts a few years back. He starts Buku Branded, promotional products, branded apparel, right? Logos, hats, caps, mugs. Sorry about this, but I mean, okay. So Buku Branded is born. So you ready for this? Who does this, by the way?
Yeah.
Okay. So promotional products, branded apparel, they could source and decorate anything. But here's the thing. They give 100%, you heard me right, 100% of their net profit. They give to 4 literacy beneficiaries. These are folks
Holy
that,
cow.
these are folks that that teach kids to read better, that donate books. Bernie's Book Bank is one of the beneficiaries, and they have Little Free Library, Reading Partners, and Reading Alliance.
Wow.
And they give all of their net profit
That's
to these
awesome.
folks. You want to talk about stewards. So I ask you this question. Like, if you were going to buy promotional products, there's 16,000 promotional product distributors in the United States.
Yeah.
By the way, all of them buy from the same manufacturers.
Yeah.
All the big,
They're all doing the
they're all the same
circle.
thing.
Yeah.
It's just really, it's a commodity. So they're all buying from the same. So I ask you this question. If you were going to buy promotional products and branded apparel for your company, events, golf tournaments, culture, why would you not buy it from a company like Buku Branded that you know is going to help you with corporate responsibility, PR, and just some feel goods? Because you know if you spend $1,000 with them, $100 of that, their net profit, is going to 4 literacy beneficiaries to solve the literacy crisis.
Well, you know 3 things from it, right? You know that you're supporting good causes because a portion of what you're putting in goes to that bucket.
Boom.
You know that they're going to take care of you because the reality is if that's what they're doing with their financial statement, they're going to make sure their customers are happy.
Boom.
And 3, you know they're developing a place that's impacting the lives of the people that are in that organization and everybody they touch. Why wouldn't you want to participate with that?
Participate with that.
Game on.
Game on. So we just had a chance. Brian and I just had a chance because Brian has a podcast I'm happy to produce. It's called Beyond the Bottom Line by Buku Branded. You have to check it out. We just had a chance to interview the head coach of Northwestern University.
Yeah, you were saying that.
That's
awesome.
I mean, you want to talk about an unbelievable coach. His name is David Braun, won Coach of the Year. Yeah. This guy is, again, a follower of Christ. He is so principled. He's a family guy. His players love him. You saw what Northwestern did. And in watching Brian speak with him and kind of talk about the model, you saw him light up. So I ask you, if you own a brand, would you consider buying your promotional products, whether it's one time or all the time, from Buku Branded? It's www.bukubranded.com. That's B-U-K-U branded.com. I am telling you right now, premium products, perfect decoration, on-time delivery, and you get all of the benefits of feeling good knowing that your hard-earned marketing dollars, we know you're going to spend. It's budgeted. We know you're spending them. It has to happen. Yeah. That money is going to solve the literacy crisis, to advance literacy in the United States. How about it? Buku Branded. Are you in or are you in? We have got to discuss, everything goes through. Retirement starts. 40 years old. Retirement starts. Got to be skipping home, excited. Your wife's got to be like, what in the world? What's the rest of our life going to look like? Start us there.
So April, we sell, we get paid, and I am not aligned with the new place, and that's why I retired. Okay. I spent a few months trying to fight the good fight, was obviously not going to be successful in that for a variety of reasons, and made the decision to step down. My team knew in advance so that I could try to fade over what I could. Middle of July, step down. Because it was such a big part of my world, and that world got rocked. I did not handle it well. I was actually very angry, pretty devastated, a little bit of depression kicked in, and drank heavily every day because I didn't know what else to do. Was at the house, working on the house.
Boy, is that a common thing for...
It really, yeah, because it's a different, like...
Just trying to numb it. Don't know where to go.
Numb the heck out of it.
Lose your direction.
Yeah, so that's what I did every day.
So you lost your purpose.
I did.
And you were scrambling.
Yeah, and so all day I'd work in the woods or I'd work on the house. As soon as it hit 5 o'clock, I'd drink until it's time to go to bed. I'd do it again tomorrow.
In the woods, you're in your head. You're doing stuff, but you're in your head.
Yeah.
And so what's the conversation happening in your head? A bit of a fight?
Everything.
Yeah.
I couldn't even tell you where to begin.
Like an echo chamber just of
just
voices.
What, why, how,
yeah, well, what do I do now?
A lot of it was very much anger at the beginning, blame to the fact that this should have never happened and that I knew that this wasn't going to work and all that, which is why my partner and I aren't close because I was very angry with him. And then it was grief. So very much like feeling really bad for everybody that's now stuck in that and not by choice, but by force. And then sadness. And then it was just I have to get on with life. And so I started to get around that. And then the house is getting close to done. So then we're getting excited for that. Like we find out we're going to be moving in soon. Like, you know, because we were living in a camper. So in March, we bought a brand new camper because we've always been
Dude, you
camping.
are willing to do some stuff.
We did some stuff, man. So we sold our house in March, moved into a camper in our campground. Then the business sells, and then we break ground on the house. Like boom, 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 boom. Like it was a intense 6 weeks. And then we were living in the camper all summer. And so we were excited to get into a home again.
Yeah.
And so we moved in October. My wife and I, she is awesome. Like her and I worked lockstep. My buddy and his wife came over and gave us a hand as well. And so we got the house to a point where it was livable enough. Like, because it was literally mattresses on plywood when we first moved in, because we wanted to get in so bad. Plus, they were shutting the water off at the campground, so we kind of had to.
Well, you make that type of investment too, right? You like it's got to be like
You want it right.
every nook and cranny's
Yes.
got to be the way you want
Yeah.
it. And this is your
Forever home.
Your forever home. So like it probably is like a museum at this point. I mean, it's just like is how you want it.
Well, it's not done yet, but
Yeah.
what house is
Work in progress.
But so when it's done enough, kitchen's done, everything's functional, we're good to go. And my wife and I, it was like I need to get back to work. And so that's when I'm really just praying, thinking. I had heard about coaching through franchise work years prior. Never really thought it was ever going to happen. Reevaluated those options leading up to that. I just didn't like any of them. There was always something, right? It was either too much money going back to the franchise, or it was their toolkit's not that great, or whatever, right? So nothing landed. And so just through a lot of prayer, God was like, why are you looking at tools? I've already built you. And I'm like, okay, we'll give it a go. So we started launching. So I got with a social media team to help me figure out how to do that somewhat decent, to at least start on a decent platform. Because mind you, water treatment.
Hi, I'm Justin.
Well, water treatment is facility managers, nerds, people not on LinkedIn or social media. So I never used it for growing a business before. People need to know I exist. How do I get out there?
This is
social
a total
media.
branding play.
Totally different thing. So launched. One of the clients.
This is 25.
This is December 24, January 25. Right so holidays is when we officially said
Great time to
doing
launch.
it. Yeah, great time to launch. Well, great for social media because everybody's scrolling away. Avoiding
for sure.
family.
Yeah.
So it's great.
Yeah.
But so then very quickly got my first client.
Awesome.
Very quickly after that got another one. And so God starts blessing me. And then here's where it gets really fun. So a few months in, one of the guys that I knew from up here, so up in Barrington, really successful financial advisor for Edward Jones, was part of the men's group I was at before we moved. He calls me and goes, you ever thought about being an advisor for Edward Jones? I know you're just getting started on the business, but I think you do really well. The next day, a really high-level financial advisor who's in my current men's group calls me out of the blue with the same question. They don't know each other from Adam.
Yeah.
They just both happen to do it within 24 hours. I'm thinking this is God talking to me, because why else would that happen? So I entertain it. I start going down the path, going through the interview process while I'm building clients, wondering what's supposed to be right as I'm punching through the Edward Jones process, which is super thorough, by the way. They run you through.
They're Edward Jones for a reason.
While I'm getting to the back end of that gauntlet, unexpectedly and sad, a financial advisor in Rockford passed away. And so there's now a vacant office that has a book of business. And 99% of the time, they just take that and use the local advisors to disperse it. Because of my background and where I'm at in the interview cycle and my location, I'm a perfect fit. So the recruiter calls me. She goes, we're pivoting. We have kind of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Essentially, what I would have been handed was where most FAs are 10 years in.
And by the way, when they're 10 years in, there's enough residual income that if to get 10 years in, and for somebody who's a financial advisor, these are high wealth people.
Yeah.
They understand the game. So for 10 years in, they're handing you a book where you're set again.
100%.
Yeah.
And so I accepted it, thinking that this was a gift from God and that was why it was served up on a silver platter. And so I felt like that must be it. Mind you, because it was going the way it was going, I wasn't praying as much as I used to about it. As soon as I hit accept, I could not shake this overwhelming conviction. And I'm like, this is perfect. Why do I feel like this is wrong? And I couldn't shake it. So I went to my pastor, sat down, and just started unpacking with him, looking, praying, talking to my brothers. And I just got into the word and I'm starting to read. And I'm reading and I'm reading. And I get to Acts. And I get to the passage where they're in prison. And then the earthquake hits, door opens. They do not leave because they're not supposed to. And I'm pouring through the passage. And I just felt God sticking me right there. And as I'm reading, and I'm thinking about my path, it was so vividly parallel that the imprisonment was everything I just went through with the way the business happened. My emotional response to that was very imprisoning. And I still felt somewhat imprisoned by that. And then the door opens, which is the Edward Jones opportunity from the earthquake. And God said, but you are already doing what I've called you to do. Do not leave. And that's the coaching practice I started.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there and I'm going, okay. And then the next step is you're doing what I've called you to do, which leads to the discipling of the jailer, the baptizing of his family. Your work in this coaching practice is where you're going to bring me into this world. And I went, okay, I got it. And then I realized if I wouldn't have been through all of that, the imposter syndrome that I started with would have never gone away.
Mm-hmm.
God made it, I needed to go through that for God to give my mind and my heart the clarity to connect, to realize that I have a path that's put me where I am to serve God's purpose in a huge way. And so I called my brothers and I shared that, and everybody thought it was nuts, right? Like, you're literally given something that nobody ever gets. I can't tell you, when I went into the platform and I hit withdraw to pull out of the application process, it was like a wave of peace over my entire body in that moment. And then the next day I get a phone call about somebody who wants to sign up as a client. And the next day it happens again. And it was like, God, I got it. Thank you. It was so affirming so quickly. Like, you're doing what I've called you to do. Now, could you just go do it? And I've never looked back. And it's been the most fun, the most peaceful, and rewarding I've ever
It's amazing
experienced.
how those things happen.
Yeah.
I woke up this morning. We're in Illinois, and it's been very rainy and cloudy. It's, a typical April.
Yeah. Beautiful day.
Boy, we are going to have some May flowers because it is all kinds of April showers, right?
It's getting it ready for it.
I woke up, I had such a headache this morning. My neck hurt. And I thought to myself, like, man, this is not going to be a good interview. I don't feel it. I get in my car. Bing. Text comes. Hey, John, can you give me a call? I just want to chat with you real quick. Okay, well, I got a 15-minute drive to the office, so I'll take that call. Take the call. It's somebody that I've known, have been talking with, had done some previous work for.
Yeah.
Reaches out, says, "Hey, we want to roll with you. We want to move forward."
That's awesome.
Headache just starts to go away. Then you show up with your big, bold personality and your smile and your energy. And you introduce me to a gentleman who does custom suits for you and all that stuff. And he comes in, and he's got a good energy about him. And the headache just kind of starts to go away. And then the minute that I sit down in this chair, and I start doing what I think I'm called to do, my neck feels fantastic right now. I feel loose. I feel comfortable.
Yeah.
So I feel like these things keep happening. You just talked about it, but these things happen in our life. And if you just wake up a little bit to recognize that those are messages to you. Yeah. They're telling you that you're on the right path.
It's the enemy trying to derail you.
Oh my gosh, man.
All day long.
The devil is just talking to you all day. And by the way, let's not forget for a second that there's nothing more powerful than God. But the power of the devil and Satan is up there.
It's very up there.
By the way, we're on his land.
Yeah. Well, and when you think about the enemy, what he says to you sounds really...
Oh, it sounds so good.
Like I just talked about this because we were talking about Genesis, right? And you talk about when he whispers to Eve that her eyes will be open if she eats the fruit. That's true.
Oh, yeah.
But not in the way you want it.
No.
And it's like, he's not lying to her.
Open to the fact that you're naked.
He's just not giving her all the details. And so you hear these whispers and you get these nudges and you have these things, and be very cognizant of where it's coming from. And this is where, if you know your spiritual gifts and you know the purpose God's called you for, you have a filter to send that data set through, to say to yourself, is the decision that would come from this aligned or misaligned with what God's called me to do? man, does that get a lot easier to dissect it.
And be careful when you start getting downloads. When you start getting downloads that you didn't think about, you didn't journal about, you didn't pray for, you didn't talk to God about, be careful when those downloads come in, because there's a strong chance that that was not the gift. The gift is typically, remember we talk about it's inside. So it's the self-talk, it's the prayer, it's the thinking, it's the really, you know, getting deep into it, it's the journaling, it's the repetition of that thought. And those things start to come true. Some of the other stuff that kind of comes miraculously out of nowhere. Be careful of those things, because they may be pulling you off course.
And if they're really loud, it might not be God. God's so powerful. All
quiet.
he does is whisper.
He whispers. He doesn't yell.
No,
he doesn't yell.
No.
And he's not like, hey man, you got to come to this party. It's gonna. He's
No,
like,
that never
hey,
happens.
Hey, I'm having a party. You want to come?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. You know, it's your thing.
It's
like,
on you.
Look, I'm not gonna beg you.
Yeah.
The devil
It's
will
pretty
beg
cool
you.
over here, though.
The devil will beg you, man. He'll be like, no, you got to do this.
And here's all the reasons, you know, and it's all just crap.
Yeah.
But it really is. It's like, you know, the devil does a really good job. The reason manipulation falls under his category, right? Like it's not going to get you to the right spot. But if you don't look at it with the right perspective, it might sound differently than what it's intended.
So this is the coolest part that I found about being an entrepreneur and owning your own business and being able to go on your own journey.
Yeah.
Well, I can have these conversations.
Yes.
I couldn't do this before. I can have these conversations. I can wear this cross on my chest openly, no problem, jingling around every single place that I go without a problem. I got no problem. That cross that you see behind me with the American flag and it's a cross, I got no problem putting that up, because I'm on a different journey right now and it feels really good. Your journey, JW Innovative Coaching. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah.
So you are the bottleneck.
I am the bottleneck.
You're the bottleneck, okay?
Yes.
This is a conversation you're having with a lot of small to mid-sized business owners.
Yes.
Me being one of them, we've had the conversation.
Yep.
You're the bottleneck. What does that mean? And give me 2-3 actionable items of how to identify it, work on it, and rectify it.
So I think that the area where most owners that I work with need to take a step back is the why. So it's a great book. Start with Why.
Simon Sinek.
Probably my favorite.
Yeah,
because
so
it comes in every day, all the time with my kids, my wife, and my customers. Like it's just everywhere, right? Why is your business in existence? Why are you the one that's leading it? And why do your customers need you, right? Like it all applies. And so then when you think about your role in it, why are you doing the things that you do? And that applies to every little iota of what you touch. And is it because the business needs it to happen, or is it because you're the person to do it?
It's a bit of a reverse engineering process to start with why, isn't it?
It is. It takes you to a different place to make a better judgment on the next thing you have to look at. Because if you start with why, you have a better understanding of how to interpret the result, right? And so if it's the why this needs to be done, well, there's some tactical narrative to it.
Yeah.
Why are you doing it, John, is a different question altogether. And so first, if you understand why it needs to be done, at least you have a foundational principle to start with. But then if you now have to also answer why you specifically have to do it, it helps owners, especially as they grow, to identify what to delegate and what they shouldn't be touching.
So the why helps you to understand the what and how, and the what and how is customized because my why is different than your why. That's different.
Why did God create you?
Yeah.
Why does the business need you to do that versus it to get done? Right.
And that might help you to develop what your formula is to do that because you've got a different purpose behind it.
Yep. The number one tip. So this is the thing to listen to. The number one thing to do is a daily routine. First thing in the morning, sit down. Once you get good at it, it's like 10 minutes. At the beginning, it's about a 45-minute exercise. It gets better over time. You need to categorize the to-do list. As simple and mundane as it sounds. What are all of the things that are ahead of you that need to get done? Put them all down. Do not organize them at the beginning. This is later. Just start writing.
I cannot tell you how true that is.
Little or big. Get it all in front of you. Now, step 2 kicks in. Now you're going to organize them into 4 categories. And each category is defined by its level of urgency or its level of importance.
Listen up to this because this was
huge,
a big one for me.
Right? Urgent versus not urgent, and important versus not important. Urgent, you start to identify, is it urgency because you created urgency or is there an actual deadline? So you properly categorize that. And important, this is the biggest one that I think a lot of people miss. The important is important requires you specifically, like John's skill set, artistic value, something that nobody can do like John does. Not important is can be done by others, does not need to be done by you because it doesn't take your uniqueness. That's the difference. So
and
it doesn't
that
mean
a person that is doing it might be, that might be their uniqueness. So now you're handing the ball to a running back instead of a tight end.
Yes.
Yeah, right.
And when you take that definition to it, it helps you better categorize. So a lot of people do the important more about urgency. Like it's important that we do this. It's important that the business gets it done. That's not important versus not important. Like all of them are important then if you're talking about them. It's, does it require you or not require you? Now you have 4 quadrants. The top one is both urgent and important. It requires your unique skill set and it needs to be done pretty darn fast. Like if we wait, next week is April 15th. If you don't have your taxes turned in on time or an extension filed, you're going to be in trouble. Like you're going to have penalties, you're going to have issues, right? There's a timeline that you can't control that it has to be done by. Get it done, right? And so then that top quadrant might be a full day. You don't have time for the other 3 quadrants. So 75% of your list just got basically put to the side because you can't get to it, right? The not urgent, but important, meaning it takes your unique skill set, but the deadline's far enough out that it's not critical mass yet. Well, if you don't get to it at some point, it becomes urgent. It moves over on its own. And so try to give it the bandwidth that it needs so you don't have to rush it later, right?
Seems like common sense. Why is it not easy?
It's not easy because it takes the dedication back to habit forming from earlier on to doing it every single day. Where most people fail to make this exercise valuable to them from a long-term standpoint is they do it when they feel overwhelmed.
Yeah.
Well, you're overwhelmed now, so you might as well start. But don't quit. Do it every day for the rest of your life. And then when you're not overwhelmed, it takes 5 minutes to do it. There's not a lot in your way. And here's the other thing. This is where it then leverages the rest of the day. At 1 o'clock when something pops up, you have a list to filter it through. Is this thing that just got this shiny object that just hit me in the face outbeat the things I already planned? The answer is yes or no. But if you don't have a sounding board to put it against, it becomes your distraction. 5 o'clock rolls and 3 things you wished you would have done that you didn't properly identify early enough on got missed. And now you're going to stay there till 8 o'clock at night. Now you and your wife are arguing yet again for the 12th time because you missed dinner again, or you didn't pick up Johnny from a soccer game and he had to sit there for 30 minutes in the rain because you had that project you let get delayed. Like, dude, just
come on,
start the day right.
Yeah.
Right. That is the biggest thing when implemented is absolutely huge. The pivot from that I recommend any person. I don't care if you own a business. I don't care if you're a administrative assistant. I don't care if you're an AP executive. Like, pick whatever lane you're in. Do a time check. Like, literally just catalog your day for a week, for 2 weeks. You'd be shocked at how much time you probably waste and how many distractions throw you off kilter. You feel them. Emotionally, you know they're happening all the time, but when you write them down and have to identify them and look at them and go, oh, that's worse than I thought. And every single time.
Distractions are often us getting pulled into the thing that we like to do, not that we need to do. So
or the thing we gave value that probably wasn't as valuable as we thought.
But I find myself getting pulled into the things that I like to do, not as an avoidance of doing the things that I don't like to do, but more of a impulsive, and I haven't developed the skill, the habit, the discipline of that part yet.
Well, and you don't have a checklist that has to keep momentum.
That keeps you on.
Right. And so it's literally just having that in front of you, like, I don't have time for that, is what starts to happen.
Yeah.
Well, and it even goes to social media, right? Like, you get a message. Like, your phone dings and it's LinkedIn.
That's
and it's
my
like,
problem.
oh, I've been waiting for that client to reach out. So you immediately stop what you're doing.
Yeah.
And then
that client's not going anywhere.
Respond. Well, this is where it gets really fun. And I've seen this happen. So you send a message back like, hey, can we get together on Tuesday for lunch? And you keep scrolling and scrolling and scrolling, waiting for them to reply to the message. 45 minutes later, you've literally been scrolling through posts, waiting for them to reply to the message and not doing the work that you needed to get done.
Now you can't even meet on Tuesday because you're too damn busy.
Yeah. And it's like that. We all, like, anybody could resonate with that.
Oh, yeah.
I've
1,000.
Like,
yeah, well, we're not saying we're perfect. You're not saying that. Like you know this because you were a victim to it. You fell into it just like anybody else, and I certainly do as well. And I can't imagine a CEO that's got, you know, $100 million company, 300, 400 employees. Like, how many things pull them
in a million
different directions? How difficult?
Yeah.
And then, you know, the 10 employee, $1 million company where they are the superstar. They are the technical expert. Shit rolls uphill.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, now that's a good example of what an organization can do well at that level to set them up for better success when it tears up.
Yeah.
It's funny because I've been to a few things recently where, like, the CEO seat is supposed to be this, like, super awesome, very structured, very in the box, doesn't blur the lines, like, has the cadence down. That's unrealistic for most entrepreneurs, because the reason they opened a business is they're probably, for those who are familiar with EOS, it's like the visionary integrator. The visionary is the wild child that has all the ideas but doesn't quite have organization down. The integrator is the one who's got it all categorized, right? The visionary is the one that usually starts a business. Mm-hmm. They're never going to be that fully structured, cadence-driven CEO. But we've created this falsehood in society that that's what they're expected to do. Oh. Maybe you should outsource half the stuff that requires that. Your business needs it. I will agree with every platform that says the need is there. The who is the thing that we get wrong half the time. Just because you started the business doesn't mean that that's the role you should have. What do you bring the most value to the organization, and which pieces of that do you need to outsource?
Yeah, you can you can be the title of CEO and still be really the top salesperson.
It's the job description doesn't have to meet what the market's written.
Especially if you own the business.
Write. Yeah. But then that goes to a 5, 6, 7 person employee. I see a lot of them. Nobody has a job description.
Yeah.
It's just kind of whatever hat they need to wear today.
And by the way, with chat, there's no excuse for that.
No, get that written down. When you're small, it's easy. And then you have modification. You have rules that you can modify easily when you're ready to expand, right? But you have to start with something. Like, it's not hard. It's just, you got to do it, right?
So, JW, fractional CEO.
Yeah.
So we hear a lot about a fractional CFO. We hear a lot about a fractional CMO, CRO. CEO is a bit aggressive in the fractional sense because you're really going into you're getting a lot of pushback from people who are like, I'm the CEO. What do you mean fractional CEO? How do you overcome that without offending?
Yeah, no, it's a good question.
Because that it would seem to me that that's probably the area where there is the biggest bottleneck in your sales approach, or the biggest objection would be that ego coming in and going, I'm the CEO. What am I going to have a fractional CEO for? I just need a CMO to get my name out there. Or I hate finance. I need a CFO. I don't need a CEO. I think they're all full of it, because some of the things that you've already talked to me about, like, I'm not studying in that. Put me in front of somebody to present what it is that I do. I'm golden, baby. But some of the stuff that you've shown me, like, whoa, this is a different ballgame.
It is. Well, and it's funny because the starting point tells me that they're probably not a client if their ego gets in the way. So we're not going to work together anyway. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep failing at what you're failing at. Right? That's fine. But the reality, when I started, I just called myself a business coach because it's such a generic term. It was easy, right? I didn't even know where this thing was going to go when I first opened the doors, because I wasn't really sure how it was going to evolve or who was going to want to use me, right? As that client base has built, and I've lifted multiple people up over the last year and a half, I can't help but be involved at a very deep level inside these businesses, because I love people, right? When I see something that needs to be shook up, I grab the snow globe and I start shaking.
You can't be quiet about it.
I can't not do that. And so as it evolved, it really became obvious. I operate like a CEO inside the business on behalf of the owner and executive team, Because I come in, I have the hard conversations, I meet with whoever needs to be met with. I move into the business, but I'm not there 40 hours a week. I'm not full time. I'm not on staff. And usually it's a business that needs somebody to take that baton and help to own it, to then figure out what the next steps are and start to pour into the right places of the business to fix that. And so that's when I pivoted to fractional CEO.
Yeah.
Because when I was saying business coach, the litany of questions was so long, I was confused as to what I was doing because I couldn't even explain it well. When I say fractional CEO, the conversation is about 30 seconds.
Real quick.
It takes no time. There's a couple of clarifying questions I get, and people know exactly how I plug in.
And what does the CEO do? Build shareholder value, so everything funnels to that.
Bingo. And so but which department I start with varies by company.
Don't know.
Where we go with it varies by company.
It's customized to what the owner's skill sets are. What are they great at? What are they not?
100%.
Okay, so fractional CEO, your services you offer: leadership support, business coaching, strategic planning, leadership development, and systems redesign.
Yes.
What's your favorite?
People. The people side.
Shocking.
It's twofold on people. It's lifting up people in giving them the coaching in the lane that they need the most help with.
Okay.
So is it their communication skills? Is it their leadership style? Is it their organization? Like what makes them fill that gap that's causing them to fall short right now, and coaching them and mentoring them through that process, right?
Okay.
And getting them to be where I come back to like what my coaches did. Like, I know you got this. We just need a few tweaks. The other side of it is it's the organization as a whole. It's the culture. It's the mission, vision, core values. Like we hear all over the place.
People are sleeping on core values, man. They're sleeping on it. That's starting with the why.
Yeah. Well, and this morning I was talking to one of my clients that's having right now, as we're sitting here recording this, some challenging conversations. And I'm going to be doing a follow-up this afternoon to then take the next step with them. And I'm walking right through it with them, and my heart's in it, right? Like, I think that's also the other difference is when I partner with somebody, I look at the place like it's my company the whole time I'm a part of it. But the core values become an activated part of the business. And what I mean by that is we always like to do constructive criticism and like to have a sounding board for that. There's a lot of value there. So when somebody falls short, we use a core value to third-party direct why that behavior is being addressed and how it fell short from what our organization is all about. I think there's a lot of health to doing that. Where I think we miss the mark is, in addition to that, every day, all the time, we highlight using the core values when people exemplify them. And when we don't do that and we only use them for criticism, they don't serve as much of a purpose, and people start to get irritated.
Oh, man.
But when you do both, they're living and breathing in the company. And so then people are like, they are reminded by them all the time in a good way too, where they realize, yeah, we are the most professional company out there. Yeah, our customers will hear from us as soon as humanly possible. And like the things you want to live and breathe by actively exist because we're calling them out on both sides of the coin.
Yeah.
Like John, your tardiness was absolutely not the exemplification of how we try to operate. Here's the core value you felt. Yeah. And so, but like,
so now it's not opinion.
Boom.
It's not subjective.
Yeah.
It's fact.
It's
this is
fact-based.
how we operate. You know the core values. They're all over the walls.
Yeah, like
they're
Reiki
visible
here, where we're sitting
right
downstairs.
Here.
They're on the wall.
Yeah, they're on the wall.
And they
at
live them.
Reiki Interiors, all over the wall. And shout out to a company that I used to work for that took the time to hire a consultant. Not smart enough to hire Justin, but they did, in fact, hire a consultant. That was a joke, but it's not a joke. They brought in a consultant, great guy, great company. And one of the first things he did was he helped us to develop our 6 core values. Yeah. We put the 6 core values all over the wall. We put them into our nomenclature. We put them into our sales presentations. Yeah. What was beautiful is about 6, 7, 8 months in, after you start to download and you start to repetitiously remind people of what our values are, and you start to speak of them, and you start meetings with recognizing somebody who lived up to one of the values. Yeah. You start hiring people based on whether or not they fit into those values. You start dismissing people because they're not living to the values, not performance, not scoreboard, not percentages, but values, because you can nurture and maneuver and coach somebody to get to the numbers, but if they're not living the core values, how much do the numbers really matter? Yeah. And a lot of companies make the mistake, by the way, of allowing the looseness of their core values because somebody is hitting the number. And this is why you have a lot of jerks that are existing within an organization that are killing the culture, but they're putting up numbers so you can't get rid of them. Meanwhile, your other really, really good people that are probably going to develop and pass that person by leave before you ever see that.
Yeah.
So that's a real challenge. But what was really cool was started to walk through the sales department.
Yeah.
And started hearing some of the salespeople addressing an objection or a question by a client by going, here's why I know we're the right company for you. Because one of our core values is
boom.
Then you're like, whoa, that's cool. Now, when you have that, when they're in a cubicle setting and right here heard that, and across from them heard that, and went, did that work? And they're like, yeah, they said yes. They're like, it totally worked. Because you know what they said? They went, oh, well, that's one of our core values as well. We think the same way. So now you've aligned on commonality and credibility. Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
And it's genuine and honest.
It's genuine because it's like, it's a value. You can't lie about a value.
It's on our website.
It's on our T-shirts. It's on the wall. It's like, there's no avoiding it. So that was when it was really magic. Yeah. That's got to be one of the coolest things for you to help develop for companies.
That is one of the biggest impacts. So like to your point on KPIs and quotas, I've yet to see a company who lives and breathes the core values in the business not hit KPIs.
Yeah.
They're no longer the focus. The focus is the core values, and the KPIs automatically happen because well, let me back up. As long as, which I only with businesses where both are developed well. So I'm sure this happens occasionally where if the KPIs aren't made well, it doesn't matter how you operate if you create an unrealistic expectation. Yeah. But as long as the KPIs are realistic, they're SMART goals, right? Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and timely. You will meet them 100% of the time, which I don't often say 100% of anything. But when your core values are your center focus and they literally are what you're all about, 100% of your KPIs will be hit. Because it's just an automatic byproduct of the systems that you've set up, which is the foundation of the business.
It drives an energy too, man.
It does.
It just drives an energy, and it's unifying. So, just reading up on you. Obviously, I know you, and I love you, but I want to prepare for this, and I'm really curious. You have this. You're certified as a working genius facilitator. What in the world is that?
Yes, a really awesome tool, and literally the only tool I've found so far. So if anybody out there knows of another one, I'd love to hear about it because I can't find one like it. It is the only one I've seen that takes the intrinsic nature of people and gives you a direct correlation to the workflow of business.
Ooh.
So cool. So business functions, doesn't matter what industry you're in, it doesn't matter what position you hold, work flows through 6 steps 100% of the time. So the 6 steps, super fast, are basically, it goes through an acronym called WIDGET. Wonder, invention, discernment, galvanizing, enablement, tenacity. Those 6 steps in that order every single time. Where the working genius comes in with the people side is every person has 2 geniuses. Only 2, not more. As good as you are, John. You only get 2. That's the way it works. And those are the lanes that you get the most energy from.
I'm happy to have 2.
Yeah.
I'll take it.
I'm very thankful for 2. But so those 2 are the lanes of workflow that you get the most energy from. Meaning if you spent the majority of your time there, you're not going to get very tired. The next 2 are your lanes of competency. Meaning you could spend some time, but if you spend too much time, it's going to burn you out. The last 2 are the lanes of frustration. Meaning if you spend any amount of time there, you're going to get tired fast, right? And so wonder is the 30,000 foot view, pie in the sky, ambiguous idea, concept of what's next. So like in your business in the social media world, I feel like there's services we don't do well now that our customers want. That's just the topic of discussion. That's wonder. Invention is identifying the specific ones. That's invention. Discernment is then taking those invented ideas and putting the plan together from implementation, putting the checklist, the step-by-step instructions. That's discernment, like finding out all the things that would need to get done to execute on it properly. When you finish that, it moves to galvanizing. A galvanizer is the person that's the cheerleader. They're the ones that, as soon as they see the executable plan on the topic, they're going to be the first one that's going to go, why are we doing that? Why is that what we're all about? Why does that align with our business? Oh, I see it. I'll get everybody on board. And they're going to go find all the people that should be involved in execution. Once they've put together that cheerleading squad and they're like, yep, you're going to do this, we're going to do that. They're the disperser of the stuff. Enablement kicks in. That's the person who knows where to be, what to do, and how to get there, as long as they were given a fully detailed executable plan that attaches to the why. They're just the doers. You give them a playbook that's fully descript.
Wind them up and let them go, baby.
Go. And
Yeah.
they will
and drop
march.
incentives for them. They'll do it faster and better.
And then tenacity is the final piece. They're the people who like to cross the T's, dot the I's, close the book, and move to the next
Oh
project.
my God. God knows we need them all.
And every single lane exists.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a huge, monstrous project, you're going to live in discernment a little bit longer. It's going to take a little bit of time to galvanize.
It's like moving a battleship.
But if it's a super small thing, you're going through the list in the same order, but super fast. Like you don't have to spend a lot of time thinking about it. Like we know what it is, done, right? And so, but it's always those 6 steps. So when you take that and you go into a company, and I had this with one of my early clients, we're going through it. They missed invention, discernment, and galvanizing in the entire company. They, in the meeting, were like, so that's why everything we do doesn't work. They hit the epiphany of the owner would wonder, and then they would force feed the process.
Oh.
And they wondered why every time they
So
tried
it's
to do
not
something, it was
tested.
broken.
Yeah.
Nobody took time to think about it.
Mm.
And it was so clear on paper because those 3 boxes were empty. There's nobody in the company that does those. So they never did them.
Yeah.
Guess what the first hire is going to be, right? And so you get intentional in your next step with hiring because which gaps do we have in the organization? You think about what role does somebody have and how does that line up with the genius that they carry? That might be why they're doing such a poor job. You have them doing work
They're in the wrong
that's
spot.
killing them.
Yeah. You're just sucking them dry.
Let's think
And they're hor-
differently.
and
It
the
doesn't
hor-
mean they don't need to work here. It means we need to rethink about how
we
we
need to
use
put them where
this
their horsepower
awesome-
works.
Yeah, this person's awesome if we use them right.
Mm-hmm.
And so the working genius is a good first step to identifying workflow and how to, as an owner, who you delegate to,
Yeah.
why you delegate to them, how you use people. If you're going to have a meeting, say of a 40-person organization, and you are trying to think of new ideas on a new thing that popped up in the marketplace, bring your inventors in, bring your discerners in. Don't ask your executors to join because I had another company
It's not ready.
Well, I had a company that the owner's awesome. Like the most inclusive guy I've ever seen. Like loves his people. He's a galvanizer. Like he's just that good, rah guy. So everybody's in every meeting. And if they're trying to figure out what else we're going to do in the business, he pulls them all in. And I remember in the first meeting, I go, you two, the 2 at the end of the table are both ET. They're nothing to do with ideas.
You can go.
If I said you guys don't belong in that meeting, what would you say? We would love that. And the owner was like, you wouldn't feel left out. Please leave us out. We don't want to, we just want to work.
Just tell us what to do. We'll go do it.
And so it was a game, like you think differently about when to include people and
By
when
the way,
for their
that's
benefit.
That's true inclusion.
Yes.
Just bring them in at the spot that lights them up.
Exclusion is inclusion done right.
Yeah.
Right. It's kind of cool. Yeah. So that's where the working genius is awesome. I will occasionally use another tool with it, depending on the size of the organization, the nature of why I'm brought in, and if needed or previous assessments were done. It's called I Said This, You Heard That. It marries up because it takes the tactical from the workflow and it takes another layer of temperament. So how people receive constructive criticism, how they react under stress, how they react when there's no stress. And you start to get to know them on more the intrinsic level, and you can marry up their responses to things based on what their geniuses are and their temperament is. But I always do the working genius. Every single client that I've gotten that I will ever have, it's the first assessment I do on everybody in the entire organization.
I love it.
100% of the time.
All right, so folks, if you're a small to mid-sized business owner or you're just somebody that is in need of a helping hand or maybe a positive voice in your life, we're going to put all the information in the description of the podcast. And, of course, we're going to be putting a whole bunch of content out. So I would very much encourage you to follow Justin Wilhelms on LinkedIn. And, of course, to send him a note. He'll respond. Send him a DM. Be nice. Be polite. Don't be trying to pitch him on your service. Just, like, reach out. Ask him about his farm and what's going on in his life. Start a conversation. If you're in need of something like this is a great resource for you to lean on. And hopefully, if everything is right, he's not taking everybody on as a client. So he's not going to sell you. Like, you have to ask him to help you. He doesn't need your business, okay? So I just want you to understand that. Like, he's going to work with people that want his help and want his stewardship, and you've got to want it. So just understand that. So please reach out. This is a little rapid fire segment here. We're going to call
Fire
it
away.
Let's Go with JMO.
All righty, let's do it.
So I'm just going to rip off like 5, 6, 7. I don't know. I might rip off 10 questions. I don't know.
All right, let's
but
do it.
we should end the podcast here with just a little bit of fun.
Yeah.
Because it's been like we've walked you through some stuff here, and I hope
Yes.
you've taken some notes, and I hope your heart is full. I hope you laughed a little bit, and I hope you could see a twinkle in both of our eyes.
Yeah.
I can see it in the guy I'm looking
love
across
it.
from. So I feel like this is a really good thing. So are you ready?
I'm ready.
Let's
Let's
go
do
with
it.
JMO. In this segment, what I'm going to do is whatever your answer is, if I agree, I'm going to go, let's go, right? Something like that.
Perfect.
All right, fair enough. I'm just inventing stuff as far as we go. And if we like it, then we'll keep doing it.
Just wing
It's
it.
Everything. We wing it. We wing it. It's a little bit planned it in the parking lot on the way up. Okay, so you're ready. Greatest restaurant that you've ever had the chance to eat at?
Oh, I forget the name of it, but it's in Turks and Caicos. My wife and I sat. It's on the bay. It's in Grace Bay. I can't remember the name of it, but it overlooks the bay. We watched the sunset. It was absolutely beautiful and some of the best food I've ever eaten in my life.
I can't give you a let's go because you can't remember the name of the
can't remember
restaurant.
the
It
name of
can't
it,
be
though.
that good. But maybe you think just
it was
because
our
you were-
wedding, so 16 years ago.
Let's go then.
So-
That's because you were getting married. You were in Turks and Caicos. But restaurant, we're still a little sus on that. For you boomers, that means suspect. Suspect. We're a little sus. Okay. Greatest moment you ever had as an athlete?
competing in sectionals for gymnastics.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Tell us more.
Broken wrist, and I only missed qualifying for state by 1/10 of a point.
Oh.
Which is why it was so awesome, because even with a broken wrist, I
You did
really
it with a
hit
broken wrist, or you broke your wrist while doing it?
I had a broken wrist when I did it. So even with a broken wrist, I only missed by 1/10 of a point.
Homeboy's missing some bolts in the
Yeah.
noggin. That's some Navy SEAL stuff.
was
Not
awesome.
to
So-
say Navy SEAls are gymnasts or gymnasts are Navy SEAls, but the intent, the mindset, the grit to get
Yes.
through that.
Yeah,
Pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, so favorite sport to play?
gymnastics.
Gymnastics. Really?
Yes,
I would have thought you would have said wrestler.
I know. I gymnastics was awesome, and I almost didn't do it because I was a wrestler, and the guys on the wrestling team were like, "Let's do gymnastics." I'm like, "That ain't for me." That's
I've
what
heard that
girls
it's a
do,
great.
and I loved it.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely loved
This
it.
is why if you watch any of social media, you watch the high school state champions, you're seeing them do round-offs on the mat after they win.
Yeah.
A lot of those wrestlers are gymnasts as well. They
Yeah.
do both.
They go really well together.
go
and
well.
I'll tell you, gymnasts are like the strongest guys out there, and you wouldn't know it.
Gymnasts and the male cheerleaders. Some
Yeah.
of those male cheerleaders are off the hook.
Well, they're usually
They-
gymnasts.
Yeah, usually gymnasts. And by the way, they might be wrestlers too, so you better not make fun of them for being cheerleaders because they might whip you.
Yeah.
All right. So, greatest vacation that you've ever been on other than Turks and Caicos with your wife for your honeymoon?
The very first time that so early COVID, as soon as COVID was normal in Florida, but not up here, took my wife and kids for 2 weeks down in Florida. Best for Christmas. Did it every year ever since. So,
Awesome.
yeah.
Let's go. Why was it so great?
Because there was nobody at the resort, like literally,
enough
which
said.
was awesome.
It wasn't a carnival cruise.
and we didn't do the insanity of the holidays.
Yeah.
We were there for Christmas with just my wife and
Yeah.
kids, and it was glorious.
So, like the real meaning of Christmas.
it was exactly what it was supposed to be.
Yeah. Fair enough. Okay. So, greatest thing that somebody has ever done for you?
Oh, that's a question.
That's a question.
Oh, that's a.
By the way,
really,
you could piss some people off
I
here
could.
with this
Who do
answer.
I not want to leave
So
out?
we might have to do a 2.0 where you just come back and thank all the other people that you
I may
left
need
out.
to chat GPT this one. Oh, the greatest thing you know what? The greatest thing somebody's done for me was my best friend invited me to go on a men's weekend called Tres Dias,
Okay.
and it changed my life because it reinvigorated a faith that died off. And it's why we ended up selling our house and moving out to the country. And our life is very different now. And it started because of going on that weekend.
I love it. Let's go. All right, so now we're gonna get a little bit polarizing. This could get some blood boiling, but it's gonna make for great entertainment.
Okay.
And it's kind of on my mind now.
Yeah.
Have we really been to the moon? Is this Artemis thing real? What are we actually seeing? Why in the world are they only showing us 10 still photos when we have all this technology? Why can they not just put a camcorder out the window and show us what is really happening? Are we really on the moon? Have we ever really gone to the moon? What's happening?
I question all of it because of everything we've experienced for the last 5 years. Like, I think all of it's all BS anyway. And
Amen.
at the end of the day, it doesn't change whether or not I'm going to go see him after I die. So I choose not to worry about it. But if you talk to my wife, we have definitively not been to the moon, nor are we there now, nor will we ever go.
I love your wife. I love your wife, and I tend to be in agreement, and I wasn't in agreement with that 5 years ago either, but the more you go into the rabbit hole of how many lies, how many things don't match up, and the more technology we have where information is at your fingertips, it's really, really hard to, once you see it, you can't unsee it.
You can't unsee it.
Like, how in the world did we just send people up in a rocket ship, and they're showing us that they're eating Campbell's soup out of a packet, spinning around but they can't put a camera out the window to show, like, they can't come up with the technology to show us the whole ride. Show us what actually is really happening out there. Like, I don't understand why that can't happen. So it's a little bit
don't
difficult.
Quite connect the way I would hope them to connect.
Yeah, they're not connecting.
Yeah.
And by the way, you ready for this?
Yeah.
The moon landing, the first one, when they left the moon, the camera pans up.
Yeah.
That poor guy they left on the moon. I hope he's okay.
I hope he's okay,
Who
too.
was working that camera?
I always thought that was interesting.
Who's working the camera?
Yeah, especially with the way technology was back then. I mean, you know better with all the cameras that you've got. Like,
yeah. There's nobody working these cameras, but we're going to break them down when we're done.
Yeah.
But that poor guy, they just left him on the moon.
yeah, it doesn't make sense.
I hope that he like built a house for himself, maybe opened up a resort.
Maybe they'll see him when they're up there.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. So, final question. What does the future look like in the next 5 years for you? What does the future look like? Will you retire again, or will you build this business up and sell it? What is your future?
Neither. So I'm just letting God lead. And so as the opportunities present themselves, I'm doing the right level of discernment to vet them, to determine what the next step is. And like I think we don't do enough in life, I'm taking one step at a time at this point. I don't have a need to build an empire and sell it. That's not on the radar. But I also don't have plans to step away because the purpose God's put me here for, I don't know if I ever would need to stop.
Yeah.
I may just limit, right? I think there will be a day much further down the road where I'll cut back and maybe only do 1 or 2 clients at a time, right? Right now, 6 or 7, that sounds fun. I'm young, let it roll. But as there will be an ebb and flow in life, right? There will be seasons where I'll probably peel back as my kids continue to get older and I get more plugged in with them and maybe only have a client here or there. And there'll be times where I want to pick up more, but I don't have a heading because I think if we try to create that, God reminds us that he's in control anyway. And I figure give it to him.
It's a great answer. Let's go.
Yeah.
You listen for the downloads. That's it. There's breadcrumbs everywhere. Follow the breadcrumbs. Listen for the downloads. Don't force anything.
Yeah.
Right? I love it. So leave our audience with words of inspiration, and then we are done. We are out. It's been an absolute pleasure having you on the show. This is the first guest of the JMO Show. And by the way, I plan on this being my absolute best work. If this is the start, I'm feeling pretty good. I hope you agree. Leave us with some words of inspiration.
So I'd say the biggest thing I would tell anybody in the marketplace is don't ever, ever lose your integrity. Make sure that stays full stop, and don't ever step away from that for a dollar sign or for anything that is earthly in nature or worldly from a view. Make sure that you're humble. Have humility, live and breathe in the way that you choose to operate, the way that you choose to lead, and the way you choose to follow. Like, be in that space. And like, to the business owners that I work with, or at least the ones I could potentially work with, it is not embarrassing or a failure to realize that getting some help is only going to help you be better to continue to deliver at a higher level. And sometimes an outside source gives you that, which is why I enjoy what I do and why humility is such a big thing. It's the people that are willing to say, you know what, I just don't know it all, but I'd love to do better. Let's do this.
It's a beautiful story, and that doesn't just apply to business. That applies to life. If you're dealing with any mental health issues, it makes you stronger to ask for help. It's weak to not ask for help.
Amen.
It's stronger to ask for help. It's stronger to get help. It's stronger to look above and give it to God. Thank you so much. That is Justin Wilhelms. I am JMO. Thank you so much for joining us. This is a 444 Media production. We are so thrilled that you joined us. Thank you to our sponsors, Reiki Interiors, Reiki.com, and Buku Branded, BukuBranded.com. We are out. Let's go.